welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm one of your hosts, WebDave, along with my co-host, RHETRI. Say hi, RHETRI.
Yo, hi, RHETRI.
He's so great. He's so great. Yeah,
that's good, chat.
And of course, we are super excited. We have one first-time ever guest tonight, the Black Viking. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here,
man. Hey, thanks for having me on, bro.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Bet,
and
brother.
then, of course, we have the one, the only, the legend,
the man with the million,
Randall Thor19. Welcome, Rand.
Sexy.
You could just use the soundboard, just have me, do the whole
you do
show
it live?
like with AI voice. You don't even need me here.
Yes, we do need you here. And thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Bad, brother.
What fortuitous timing it is.
It did work out pretty good.
Fortuitous compared to last year at this time when everybody was like, what's going on with the Xbox? Where'd they get?
They're going under.
Now the conversation's about logos and where they might be.
Exactly. Interesting turn of events. Total 180 from last year.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Exactly. RHETRI, I'm gonna let you start things off with your first question that you like to get us warmed up on, and it'll be up to you who you go to first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for coming out. We'll have more people trickling in here, obviously. But we'll start off with you, Randall. We always ask everybody who comes on here, you've been on here before, but what have you been playing? Any movies and TV shows that have interested you lately? But we'll start off with games. What have you been playing, man?
Last thing I played was Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I finished it like end of November. But I have been kind of catching up on my my books I've been reading and some of the TV shows and stuff, and I was kind of waiting for Avatar, but then I watched some of the gameplay and I really wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So I was planning on starting Cyberpunk in December, so I think I'm just going to jump right to Cyberpunk finally because I've never played it.
Nice.
So I'm probably going to start.
Oh, you never played it? Like ever?
I've never played it.
Man, that's
I didn't
awesome.
play it when it came out, so with the expansion out now and the 2.0 updates and all that stuff, it's like, all right, I'm finally going to jump in, and there really isn't anything coming out in December, so I feel like I got as much time as I need to get through, because I'll probably spend 100 hours in Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's
and you were quick, Randall. Like you were fast at finishing a lot of the stuff. Obviously, I mean, you didn't get to the million by mistake. So yeah, that's and you're better at boss fights and everything than
I don't
most
know
of us
about
are.
that.
So I think you are.
I don't think so. I don't know, but I'm getting old. I'm getting old, man. My skills
slower now.
I'm like 42. No, I ain't in spring chicken no more. You know what I mean?
42.
Dave doesn't. Yeah,
Man,
Dave doesn't
old.
like when because I'm 41. Dave doesn't like when I talk about my age at all because he's like instantly in his head like he's like go fuck yourself like with that.
No,
with that shit.
no. I don't say that at all.
Yeah,
No,
you do.
I'm just old. That's all.
You guys are all old.
We're all old.
Thanks,
Viking.
What are you, 18, 19? How old are you?
Oh, fuck you, man. No, 37, man. 37.
You're knocking on the door of 40.
Hey.
Yeah, you're almost
like
there.
Crack. Looking good, baby.
Yeah. I tell you, like Black Viking, speaking of age, like I didn't feel my age till I hit 40. Like 40 hit different. Like I was like, ooh, like arthritis a little bit kicking in, and like waking up in the mornings weren't so easy. Hangovers, oh damn, it's a whole nother story after 40 for me.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. Good times coming your way, brother.
Wait till y'all hit 50 and you're like,
I know.
Man, how many times I get up in the night to go pee?
Dave's gonna be like, wait till you guys hit 70. Oh man.
Yeah.
I will. I'll be podcasting. Young whippersnappers and your Atari and your Sonic.
I remember when Xbox had a console. Now they're not even in the industry. They left in 2027.
Weird. Those ponies got it right.
Oh man.
That's hilarious.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Sarcastic Taurus says I'm 39, y'all ancient. Yeah. There you go, John Wolf. Absolutely.
So was there anything else as far as I know you talked about the game, but was there any like TV shows or movies or anything you watched recently?
I recently watched The Creator, which
Oh, cool. Did you like it?
pretty damn good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it has some flaws. I think on Letterboxd I gave it like a 4-star rating.
Okay.
It kind of there's some things that it didn't do enough of to get a higher rating, but I love that whole like I'm a big sci-fi nerd, so like
Yeah.
clones, not clones, but like AI and that sort of stuff. And it was like, and the way the visuals looked, I think Gareth Edwards did it, who did Rogue One, and
Nice.
I thought it was a really, really good movie. I also watched Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix.
Ah, yes. Please
And
tell
that
me you
was-
Heard
enjoyed
good
that.
things.
Fantastic.
It's
I
so
mean,
good, right?
yeah, I wouldn't say the story is the most original. It is a
No.
revenge story, so you've
Yeah.
seen it, but like the art style and the fighting. I
Fighting's
mean,
really good.
8 episodes. It was really good. I think there's supposed to be more seasons because the way the end of the show is kind of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is really good. And I've telling all my friends like, watch this. But then a show I even liked better than that was Scavenger's
Alright.
Reign on
I don't even know what that is.
Max,
Hmm.
which is a
Really?
yeah, it's animation, but
Okay.
it's science fiction. It's about a ship that It's about a ship that basically crashes on an alien planet, and it is probably like one of the most alien things I've ever seen from a show. Like this planet is truly alien and has like weird stuff
Mhm.
going on there, and I recommend everybody to check out the trailer on YouTube to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my, like I think I watched like the first 7 episodes and like in a row. Like I just binged them straight. I just like couldn't stop watching.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was super impressive. And then like there's still I still gotta like catch up. I still gotta watch like Loki season 2.
Same.
It's
I gotta
really
watch
good.
Foundation season 2 because I don't watch shows as they're airing. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Me and Paris usually have that back and forth because he's always like, oh, week to week, and I'm like, I want to watch all the
You wanna
the
watch-
episodes at once.
Right. Right.
My-
So there's
My
a bunch
brother's
of
the same
shows
way.
that kind of ended, like the new season of Only Murders in the Building and Foundation season 2. So I do have a lot to catch up on. But those are some of the stuff I've been watching recently. I think Oppenheimer comes out for rent next week, so I'll probably watch that finally.
Yep.
But
Good
yeah,
movie.
I recommend Blue Eye Samurai and Scavenger's Reign.
I'm glad you mentioned Scavenger Rank. I haven't even heard about it. So, and that you said that was on Max.
That's on Max, yeah.
All right,
Nice.
cool. Nice.
Roger, we do have a super chat that dropped in there from Seth Lord.
Yeah, absolutely. Seth Lord with the $2 super chat says, "What is everyone's favorite spice Scalebound 2020?"
Scalebound mention on a show, yes, Mr. Sith Lord, I see you.
He did. I was gonna do that for you, Seth. He did DM me. He's like, make sure you say something about Scalebound to Randall Thor.
Yeah, he
appreciate
did message me,
that.
wanted to know what everybody's
The
favorite
Black
spice was.
Ronin knows what I'm talking about because Black Ronin in the chat says Scavenger's Reign is crazy good.
Yeah,
So at least
There you
somebody
go.
knows.
somebody knows. I'm glad somebody
Yeah.
knows. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there
Um,
it is.
Yeah, Black Ronin.
Oh,
Absolutely.
none of you guys have watched Loki yet?
I
Not
have
season
not
2.
yet.
I haven't
I
had a chance to.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang, man. It's
It's
good.
you
man.
watched it, right?
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah. It's
I
good.
love that show. It's to me that's the best. It's the best Disney show. It's better than
100%, yeah.
everything. Even though some of the Star Wars stuff, I think that's probably my number one.
That ending
Oh.
was crazy good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Off topic, but since a lot of you are getting up there in age, remember to check your blood pressure. It's a silent killer. Yes, it is. Author one. Thank you. It
Thanks.
is the silent killer. Absolutely.
And make sure you get a colonoscopy. You'll enjoy it.
Oh,
Ugh.
I've been avoiding that shit like the plague. I'm way
avoid it.
overdue, by the
Don't
way.
avoid it. Don't avoid
Yeah.
I just
don't
had
tell
to,
me what to do. You ain't your mama.
I had to take I just had to take a family member to get their colonoscopy because they don't let people take it unless they have someone who's gonna take
Yeah.
them home. So I had to go sit
Oh,
there,
crap.
wait.
Yeah.
And
Where are they sticking up there? You gotta like.
You're like, so how was
they
it?
give you-
Like,
they
what
give
do you,
you-
what do you say after someone's done?
they give you anesthesias. They knock you out, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So they don't want people driving themselves home. So it's like, all right, we had to be there at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
and they didn't finish till like 3 p.m.
Dang.
So like,
What?
yeah, because
Ooh, that was
Okay.
long.
the funny thing was because right before the operation, the operation before my family member went in was one that was quote didn't go so well and took quite a lot of time, which is I'm sure something you want to
Oh,
hear before you're
God.
about to have your
Right.
procedure. So I guess there was, yeah, the operation before took exceedingly long.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's definitely something you don't want to wake up in the middle of.
yeah,
Oh man.
Oh, hey, Doc. Buy me
Nope.
drinks first.
I don't.
Anyway.
Yeah. We got to move on
we
from
give
this
a we
subject.
give a shout out to Mav in the chat. He
Yeah.
used to be on C Money's list of questions answered until I knocked him out. And,
Oh my
dropped
God,
him
he's
off the
calling you
list.
out.
Yep.
Dang.
Ah.
Mav is
Are you
no longer
are
on
you
the
number
board.
one right now, Rand?
I
Are you
am
s-
number
are you-
one.
Are you are
Yeah.
number one. Okay. Yeah. When I go on that show next month, I think I was just gonna shoot for last place because he only talks about first and last place.
I
so
know, that's
figured,
true,
You know,
but at
I'll be
least-
mentioned
but at
on
least-
every show.
At least I was able to knock Mav out of there.
That's true. That's the most important thing. Is
Yeah.
beating Mav. So
There you go.
he's like, "Come on, Rand. What the hell?"
So,
All
so,
right,
so Black Viking,
Yeah.
what game
Yeah.
have you been playing?
Me, just stumbled upon this game called Champion Shift by SRG Studio. So it's one of the Winterfest ID at Xbox games. The demos that
okay.
they put out. It's if you like Vampire Survivors. This game.
Oh, is
just
that the
like,
one I keep seeing everyone talk about? That's
dude,
like they keep saying it's Vampire Survivors on crack.
Yes, man.
Is it like-
It's dope.
Yeah.
It's hella dope, man. I think it's unique because you kind of have 2 health bars. You like for your person, and then when you shift into a car, it's another health bar. But the powers and stuff work the same way as Vampire Survivors, except you also have like you have tasks to do.
Okay.
That it gives you, and then you have a boss fight at the end of each level. But that game is mad dope. Like, and it's a demo.
Is that
right
is
now
that the
on
one I saw
Xbox.
like J Rock and like other people pushing out? Is it that one
me
or is
too,
it
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I put
Alright.
like a video on like me playing on the Rogue Ally. So
Okay, yeah.
So on Steam you can play it 4-player co-op. On Xbox there's no co-op yet, but it's still in demo.
Xbox getting the
now.
shaft again.
But it's still in demo. It's still in demo. So
Yeah.
it's pretty dope though.
That's dangerous that you mentioned that game because that Vampire Survivors was like goddamn crack.
I'm
I
telling
could not
you,
put that thing down. It was
y'all
so
play
good.
this. It's the same formula, man. It's super good.
Yep. Awesome. Any
Yeah.
any TV shows or movies or any other games I should say that you've been playing or?
I bounce between so many games, man. I'm like still playing COD. I still play Gears Tactics, like trying to run through that. But that's really about it. I mean, yeah, that's really about it
Okay, cool.
right now. Yeah.
Any TV shows or movies or anything like that? Or you just been gaming?
I've been gaming. I haven't watched too much. Yesterday, me and my wife stumbled upon a pretty cool documentary called The Horse Whisperer. Have you guys heard that yet?
I don't think so.
I've heard of it.
Horse person. No, I don't think
The
I
Horse
have.
Whisperer? No. It's a Netflix original following this guy named Destin Legary, and he goes behind the
I
scenes.
knew it. I was like, I knew he
Oh,
was going
man.
there. I was like, wait a second.
He goes behind
I was
the
like,
scenes.
we're falling into his trap.
to kind of expose the pony industry. So that's been really
You got
cool to
me.
watch, man. I think I got suggested
Yeah,
that.
me too.
J Rock suggested that to me. So
Yeah.
I
I
watched
saw.
it.
Yeah, I
did a
saw that
review.
Netflix special.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. So
You got
check
me on that
out.
one.
Walked right into that, dude, and I even commented on it too online, and I was like, "Oh, really? What is this one?"
We have a new
Idiot,
channel, remember? Or a renewal.
What's going on? Adidas 20 renewed for 2 months. Thank you, brother. Didn't we had a super from him as well? I thought, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Let
I
me
don't
get
think
that
we,
for you real
showed
quick.
that.
We got to make sure
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Donkey show. Adidas 20 with the $20 super chat says Xbox will become the software leader this generation. Ooh, I like that prediction. That would be nice. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of what do they say? They got like a dozen $1 billion franchises on hand, so which is just crazy to even think about. But yeah, it's crazy. All right, guys. Dave, well, let me ask you, what have you been playing in any TV shows and movies before we move on to the first
Diablo.
subject? Diablo nice.
4. I've been playing that. Just really kind of just getting started on it. Finally, it was on sale, so I went and bit the bullet since it wasn't in Game Pass yet. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it, play it.
It's a
So
good game,
yeah,
man.
that's what I've been focusing on. Other than that, you're watching a little bit of a lot of YouTube videos. I've watched like the newest episode of Xbox 2 podcast. That was great. I love that. So,
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
No, I tell you. No, but I do. A lot of times I'll watch a lot of different, great, content from the great providers that are out there that put really hard work and Ran and Jez do an amazing job. So, just saying.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, thank you. But yeah, there you go. How about you?
Very cool. For me, it's been rotation of COD, Halo, a lot of multiplayer stuff. I picked up Baldur's Gate 3 out of FOMO.
Yes.
Really was hoping it would hit Game Pass, but whatever. I said I was going to buy it no matter what, and I did. I'm still on the fence. I'm not sure. I'm only like 2 hours in. I barely scratched the surface of this game, so I don't know if I like it yet. It's like, jury's still up. So we'll see. We'll see if it's my type of game. So I know Black Viking is definitely a fan of that game. So
fucking love that game.
Yeah, yes. He's all about it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I haven't been watching too much TV. I did watch the hell movie was it Violent Night? That Santa Claus one. Yeah. I was bored one night. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun. If the guy from Stranger Things was playing Santa Claus and he basically just kills all these bad guys. It's one of those stupid, funny films, but I liked it. So that's what I've been doing. Yep. So yeah.
Cool. What's our first topic?
Yeah, let's get into it. So our topic tonight, obviously, is the Game Awards. So we'll kind of I'm going to ask you guys like your overall gist, your overall like impressions of the show as a whole. And then we can get into more specifics. We'll get into more like, what were your highlights, and we'll get into like any issues with the show and stuff like that. But I'll start with you, Ran. What do you think about this year's Game Awards, or some people are calling it the Winter Game Fest? What were your general impressions of the show? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was crap? Was it better than last year? What do you think?
Well, okay. So I think for this one, you have to separate it into how was it as a trailer show and a reveal show versus how was it as an award show, right?
Yeah.
Because 100%. I do agree with you. Like, I'm straight up calling this from now on Winter Game Fest. It is not the Game Awards.
EU 2.0.
Yeah. So as like a reveal show, as like an E3 show, probably really solid A, maybe like high B+, right? Yep. As an award show, it's complete F. Like, worse than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Disrespecting. It's just funny when like the presenters get more time than the people accepting the awards. Like, I knew something was off when the dude from, I don't know his name, but Baldur's Gate 3 best performance, when he came up on stage and was given this really heartfelt speech, and then immediately like a minute in, they were shooing him off stage, and I was like, oh, this isn't. And then they did it to Sam Lake. And I was like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on?"
That's when you know, right? If they're doing it to those guys, they'll do it to anybody, right?
And then they just gave away a whole bunch of awards and blocks like 3 times.
Yes,
it didn't even matter. It's like, oh, here's the winner of best. But Jeff made sure that best adaptation, best Hollywood, made sure they'd be able to come up, because that's what it's all about. It's all about Hollywood, because you can get Matthew McConaughey to come out. You can get Falcon. I forget his name. He can come out there.
Anthony Mackie.
Obviously, Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele could just talk about a game that we know nothing about and still don't know anything about for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
And all the games that, hey, best RPG, all this sort of stuff. No. We're just going to read your name. We're going to make sure that Neil Druckmann comes on stage to accept that award for your TV show. You know what I mean? Like, that tells you where the priority is. Now, to be fair to Jeff,
yeah,
if it was strictly an award show, nobody would watch. We all know that.
I agree with that. I agree with
nobody would care. Nobody would watch. People tune
Yeah.
in strictly to watch the game reveals. And
They
that
do.
is what is he providing. The problem, I think, is he positions the show and calls it the Game Awards and then starts to show off by saying it's celebrating the developers and the games and all that stuff. But like, I didn't get that vibe at all from what
No.
followed. Like, you know, the saying like, hey man, the audio ain't matching the visual, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, I get it. I get it that like to get 10 million people to watch this thing, you need to have Kojima talk about his game. You need to have God of War Ragnarok show up with the reveal. You need these big things to get gamers excited about because that's why we're tuning in. We're not tuning in to watch the Game Awards and presenters and stuff. But the thing is, I think people finally felt like maybe Jeff was gaslighting everybody to a certain extent.
Yeah.
By saying, "Oh, it's about this and it's about the celebration of the industry," and it's like, no, not really. Not when there was 12 minutes of acceptance speeches in a 3.5-hour show, right?
Right. Yeah.
So just call it what it is, Jeff. You can keep on doing it the way you are doing it. Just call it Winter Games Fest.
Yes.
And nobody would care. Drop the pretense that it's about the awards show because it's not. You know, so that's at least my overview of the award show itself.
Nice. I kind of agree with that too. Like it was very. It was like a spotlight on it this year. It was like they started doing like the bulk. Maybe they did this years ago, but I remember last year for sure they did a bunch of awards in bulk at the same time, and they did it this year, and it seems like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. For people to be able to get their acceptance speeches in there. But Black Viking, what was your overall impressions of the show? Do you resonate with anything that Randall was just saying?
Yeah,
or,
I'm in 100% agreement with Rand. I think if you went into it knowing that it was going to be E3 2.0, then yeah, it was a 8 to 10, depending on what platform you have. Probably a 6 if you are a PlayStation guy. But for me, it was a 9, 10. You know what I mean? Like they showed some amazing things. But as far as like, again, I agree with Rand. When you got me and my brother were watching, it was like, why are the fucking Muppets up here? Like, what? What is this? Like, what are we doing here? And then like, I think the first people that went on stage, the guy talked in to receive the reward for his team, and then the female was about to walk up and say something. They just played the music. Like, do y'all remember that? Like, I think it was like the first one. I was like, man, this is gonna be so bad. Like, I don't know. Like, what did they give them? 30 seconds, like to receive.
Well, a lot of them, I timed it. I think a lot of people thought it was 30 seconds. It was most of them got about a minute, but that the wrap up music was coming in pretty fierce. I don't know exactly when it came in, but they were supposed to get about a minute each. Because I actually went back and timed this because I watched this 3 times, which that was awful having to do. But yeah, I mean, you could feel it, man. Like we all felt the same thing. We all saw them rap, and then they had the big sign, right? They had the big sign by telling, please wrap it up.
What is this, a Chappelle show skit? Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it was crazy, man. Yeah, so I feel bad for all the devs and people that put in hard work to try to get nominated and get those awards and then get on stage and give heartfelt speeches, and then you are just rushed off and can't really give the flowers to the people you want to give flowers to. You know what I mean? So that part was trash, man. I think it was, I agree with Rand. It's 100% probably the worst one that they've had so far. I think they just need to re-engage on how to call it something else opposed to the Game Awards, because it's not that. You know what I mean?
No, it's definitely not about the words anymore. I mean, I don't know if it hasn't been in a long time, but it's just it's in your face. It's obvious.
This year was crazy.
I don't think it was ever really about the Game Awards. It's clearly always about the reveals.
Yeah.
But I
think
that
Hollywood glamour.
Yeah, I think they kept I think he's kept the pretense up better in years past. And this year, like the mask slipped. Right?
Yeah.
Where it was like very apparent that it was strictly just about. But the thing is, it's like, how do you get people to watch? Right? Because there are award shows out there that don't do this, like the Golden Joysticks or the Dice Awards and all that stuff. But nobody cares because they don't got any game reveals. So
I mean, I guess
if you do, damned if you don't, right?
If you had a good like the Oscars always have a pretty good comedian to roast the shit out of everybody, opposed to, I mean, Christopher Judge would probably make a pretty horrible comedian, but
yeah, but people were upset about Christopher Judge though.
Yeah, but he's not. He's a pretty horrible comedian. So
yeah. What do you guys think about the whole Christopher Judge thing? Did you like? I got honestly like I laughed about it. It rolled right off my shoulders, and I didn't kind of think twice about it. But man, some of the people on the internet are going after the guy. I know some of the devs were pissed off, but did that bug you guys? Like, did that honestly like if it bugged you, let me know. I'm just curious if what Christopher said about the Call of Duty campaign being short and poking fun at it. If that bothered anybody.
I took it as a joke.
I mean, it was a joke.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, everybody talks about how short the campaign is. I think, I guess you can make the argument that like, oh, we're at a show that's supposed to celebrate games and developers.
Yeah.
And maybe that's out of line. But then they make jokes all the time at the Oscars. You know, I know there's the whole thing of like you can't joke on the internet anymore in these days because you get canceled or whatever. I mean, that does seem to be a thing. And you know, I do sort of wonder if the ABK acquisition never happened. Like I did see a lot of Xbox fans be upset about this, kind of like, oh, we need to defend Call of Duty because it's Xbox now.
Yeah,
I wonder if like, would you have cared if it was 2 years ago, and you know they didn't acquire ABK, and you know would we all be laughing and you know not being like, trying to defend the honor of Activision Blizzard and Bobby Kotick, I guess. I mean, obviously the developers felt a certain way, right? Like they took Twitter to voice their displeasure. So,
but let's be honest here. Like, I think I made a tweet about this. If Grounded had went on stage, they got an award, right? And said something of the likes of, you know, we're still trying to figure out ways to add more bugs than Spider-Man 2. You know what I mean? The media would have lost
that would have been a good joke, Viking. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's not.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think the media would have lost their mind. It would have been called in poor taste. You know what I mean? Because it's devs going after, you know what I mean? Somebody who works for Xbox going after, you know, PlayStation.
So do you think that's why? Like, do you think it's because Christopher Judge is Kratos and like Modern Warfare is now an Xbox game?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of unprecedented, right? Like, so it could be, could not be, but still, like, I think people within the industry, like, they don't. Is this the first time somebody's made a joke about a game from another studio?
I have no.
It's hard to say. I mean, he even said that it was like, I guess it won't be working for them or something like that. You know, like, you know,
and you might not be, dude. Yeah,
you know.
I mean, they don't really have a lot of presenters at these things, right? They're usually they keep it low because it's all about the awards, or it's all about the trailers and stuff. So I'm gonna say probably not. You know,
yeah.
And I know some people like, oh, you know, that was like a teleprompter thing, like that was something like, you know, maybe like
someone else
writer wrote in.
Yeah,
but the way he stopped and kind of like was looking, I feel like that was ad-libbed.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah. I think he did that on his own accord for sure. I don't think anybody at the award show put that on the prompt or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, it's, you know, it is what it is. I'm not saying like guys don't have a right to be upset about it. Like, I do think it was probably not a great joke anyways, but not the right time to do it. Probably not in good taste. But you know, it is what it is. I think that's something easy to get over. Pat F is now a member for 3 months. Thank you, Pat F. Appreciate that, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
And I do want to welcome out the over 150 people in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. We
Hey.
greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
And
you guys.
and for those earlier in the week, we were planning on having Colt Eastwood was going to join us tonight. Unfortunately, this morning he let me know that he had unexpected company come in from out of town, so he has some family stuff to do tonight. So he won't be able to join us, but he will join us at a later date. So I apologize if some people were coming to see Colt, but we do have Randall Thor19, and we do have the Black Viking and RHETRI and.
I'm
Even
no
me.
Colt Eastwood though, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, none of us are Colt Eastwood, and we're certainly no,
Yeah.
we don't got the voice like he does, and
Exactly.
the skills.
No.
Those video production skills.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
G Maybe says nobody loves Christopher Judge's voice more than he does. Of course, he had to make it everything about himself. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. G Maybe, it kind of feels like he's got some Keeley in him as well. Yeah, like Keeley loves the That's why you see Keeley.
Pause.
Keeley's back. He's talking to Muppets. Keeley's back. He's talking to whoever. Like he tries to get on the show as much as possible.
And I guess somebody timed it out or whatever. It was like basically the actual awards. It was like 25 minutes.
IGN did it.
Or actual awards, and all the rest was
17% of the show was awards. Apparently, I was like, shit. Like once you start doing the mathematics, the math ain't mathin', or is it? Because that doesn't look good.
20 minutes was like Monster Hunter now. I was like, well, they were really banking on that mobile award, weren't they? Because they spent a lot of bread putting in
they did.
a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's move on. We talked about some of this. I'll go back. I'll circle back around to that because I'm curious to see like what you guys would do, like what improvements you would try to make to this show if you could. I know that's like a mountain to climb, but we'll circle back around on something like maybe some things that you guys would think about would improve the Game Awards itself. Well, let's get into like the highlights. What made this? Was this a good show for you? Did you think this was an awesome show? And what were some of your personal highlights that happened during the show? Some of the announcements maybe you didn't see coming. I know, Rand. Sometimes you get stuff fed to you. Might have known some of the stuff that was going to happen. I don't know, but for you, Rand, what were your highlights for this show?
Award wise, really happy to see Hi-Fi Rush win.
Yeah,
audio because it deserved it. Like amazing game. I wish it was nominated for Game of the Year because I think it deserved it.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see them walk away with something cool. I'm a big. I mean, my Game of the Year was Alan Wake 2, so I was really happy with them getting best game design and best narrative.
Narrative was a given. I was gonna riot if they didn't win best narrative.
So it was really cool to see that. That's from like the award. I mean, everybody knew Baldur's Gate was gonna win, and it was like a foregone conclusion, right?
Yes.
So it was like one of those things where it was like, all right, like at least let's get Alan Wake and some Hi-Fi Rush victories out of there. So that's what I was kind of happy about from the awards perspective. As for the reveals, I mean, dude, Xbox brought it. I mean, like, Xbox brought it in a big way. The three things that they showed were all showcase level announcements. Blade being a potential like end of show where it's like we got one more thing, and then they run the trailer for Blade, right? They came up really big, but I mean, there was a lot of other games like that. I think the one that you're just showing on the trailer right now, the Black Wukong game. Black Myth Wukong, I think that looked fantastic.
Yes.
The Exodus game, the one that Matthew McConaughey came out. Like, I'm sci-fi dude. Give me like the Mass Effect sort of stuff, time travel, like that really like spoke to me. You got like the new game from the Moon developers, Moon Studios, for the Wicked. As soon as that, like, hey, it's their game, I'm like, all right, well, now that's jumped up to my most anticipated list, right, of like games you're looking forward to. The Sega announcements. I mean, you can make the argument that was the maybe not the biggest announcement, but the coolest announcement.
It was probably the coolest for me. That was crazy because I had made videos about this. We had heard rumors that it was like they were doing the whole the super games or whatever the hell they were calling them. And we knew about possibly Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. I did not know they were going through their whole damn catalog though. That's what
I saw Golden Axe
like
on
Streets
there.
of Rage, Golden Axe, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, what?
nuts.
Yeah, Shinobi.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
then I think they
announces
said
5
not even
games
just
in
that.
one trailer, right?
I
Like
know,
that's unheard
90
of.
seconds. Yeah.
So
I was
those are just
confused
some
what
of
the
the
hell was
ones
going
that
on.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some I'm missing, but those are the ones that stick out of my mind. But I mean, like as for Xbox, like the Blade thing, I'll talk about the Blade thing last. But like the biggest thing for me for the show was Hellblade 2, by far and
Okay.
away.
Nice.
You
Yep.
know, WebDave knows this, but like I constantly talk about it on Xbox too. But like this has been my most anticipated Xbox game since
Yeah,
it
for
was
a while.
announced, and nothing has
Yeah.
ever come out to eclipse. I'm a huge fan of the first game. Like I played it on PlayStation when it came out day one, and I played it again on Xbox. So and it was one of those things where before the show I was like, I don't want to see Hellblade again, right? Because we've seen it twice.
And then you did, and then you were like,
and then we
I was
get
wrong.
it, right? Well, it started off weird because they're like doing the song, and I was like, well, this is odd to do a song from a game that hasn't even come out yet. Usually it's like
Right.
later on. And I'm like, well, if they're doing this song, we got to have a trailer, right? They have
Mhm.
to. And then they showed a trailer, and I was just like, you talk about next gen or what next gen could
Dude.
look like.
Yeah.
Dude,
man.
what they showed of Hellblade 2 here looks like you're probably going to be talking about a candidate for like the best looking game, one of the best looking
yeah.
games, right? But for a lot of people, it was about, okay, we know that's going to look good. We know the acting is going to be on point because Melissa Juergens, incredible, right? And
Mhm.
you get a sense of it here, the way she's talking in the other trailers. But people want to see that combat. That's what I
Yep.
wanted to see.
And we got it.
And we
That's
got
what
it.
we asked for.
And we
Yep.
got it. And it's a lot more visceral. It's a lot more aggressive. It's a lot more gory.
Yes.
Granted, it still seems to be more of a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. But I never
Mhm.
expected it to be like a Devil May Cry where you're taking on 10 people at once, because I do think
No.
they want to keep it more of like a visceral experience where it's just you versus somebody or you versus a couple people, and it's really gritty. It's really violent.
Mhm.
You saw some of the stuff
Yeah.
where she'd stab him through the gut and then ripped up through the head, or
Yeah.
like take the axe and slam it into their head and stuff. And it went well with the song too, which we had just heard. So everything about that trailer is like, I got goosebumps. I'm watching this and I'm like, all right, give me the
Mhm.
date. Give me the date. I want to know. And they come with 2024. And I was like, okay, like at least we know the year again. And I think Microsoft is trying to be more of, they're very aware that sometimes they date stuff and stuff slips, right? Game development's tricky. So I don't think they want to date stuff super far out. And maybe you don't need to anymore in this day and age. Like maybe you don't need to give release dates like super far out anymore. And I think that's the case. However, I do feel we will get a developer direct in January.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see Hellblade, and they'll do, an in-depth look at it, and we'll probably get the date for the game then. I'm pulling for March, April. The thing about, even though Xbox has had this incredible showing, and everybody's talking about logos, right? Everybody's talking about, Xbox in general. We still don't know their release schedule for next year.
Right.
We know the games that might be coming, or the games that are at least dated for 2024, but we don't know what game's releasing first, right? We don't know if it's Towerborn or Hellblade 2. We don't know where Microsoft Flight Sim sits in. We don't know when Avowed is supposed to come. We don't know about our History Untold. They said there's other announced games. Is there a Gears collection? Is Forza Horizon 6 coming next year? So there's a lot of question marks. One being like, hey, when can we expect your first title? So I think maybe that will be answered
Yeah.
at a developer direct. And Kojima thing. I don't want to ramble for a long. I'll let
You're
Mr.
good.
Black Viking talk.
Well,
I
to your point,
don't want to take up all the time.
No, you're
It's
good,
all
man.
good.
Hey, to your point, Rand, like I think this is kind of a good problem for Microsoft to have.
More games.
They have like way too much down the pipeline. You mentioned like some of the first party games that are coming out in 2024, but that doesn't even include like the scheduling problem that they have with like all the DLC and support games that they have. I mean, you have Starfield Shatter Space, and that's going to fit
Mhm.
into its own block. You know what I mean? And you got all the updates for Forza Motorsport, Horizon 5, Infinite, Sea of Thieves, like, and they all need their own block to where, and they, thank God they're in Game Pass, right? But they all need their own block so they can get some shine too. So like having what 6, 7, like 33 Immortals too, isn't that coming
That's
as
not
well?
that's not like first party, but that is.
But that's a game that's
I want to
coming.
say that is maybe a timed like exclusive, kind of like maybe a Stalker 2, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
where it'd be
Yeah.
on Xbox for a few months and then potentially. I think at least I'm not sure.
Right. But yeah, this is a crazy ass list to have for all of 2024 on one platform. So like it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem for them to hash out to make sure we get some dates. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and plus you got the big game looming at the end of the year, Call of Duty Black Ops
Yes.
Gulf
Yep.
War, which is,
Yep.
you know, that's sitting there, and I'm sure Xbox probably doesn't want to release anything around it because it would get eaten up. And that'll be the first game that might have Xbox marketing for it.
Yep.
Maybe even day one Game Pass.
So exciting.
So it's
Yep.
like you're right. I think there's a difference between like you're talking years ago where like Xbox just is like we had to wait to E3 because they didn't have much. Everything's like under wraps, so you had to wait. But now they have all these studios that are working on all these projects,
Mhm.
and they need so many different like showcases. And
They do.
you know, I think we're going to see it. They've even talked about that. So yeah, I think we'll get a developer direct. They'll show some stuff. They'll give some dates, and then we'll go to summer, and there'll be a big showcase, right? Because I mean, like, there's still game. Like, I think we'll see Perfect Dark again this year. We'll probably get the reveal of its game, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff,
And
you
then
know.
whatever
And
the coalition's cooking up. So
yeah, the Coalition. There's a good chance the Gears game gets revealed, and you know, we know when they want to do partner directs because they started one last year, and they'll probably do more of that. There's just so much stuff coming. And you know, it's interesting. Like this year at the Game Awards, where last year everybody was disappointed because
Mhm.
Xbox didn't show up, very much like how they didn't show up to release any games that year either, really, right? And now this year they they come in and they just like, all right, yeah, you want Hellblade 2? Look at it, most impressive thing at the Game Awards, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
you want a Kojima game where everybody's, you know, you see Kojima's name pop up and everybody's like, oh, Kojima.
Mhm.
Right, and then people are like, is it a movie game? And it's like, well, no, that's
Right.
actual Unreal 5. Like, and you got Jordan Peele working on it, and they're gonna have all these like legendary auteurs, like they're invoking the imagery of PT with the door.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man.
Like, oh man, that's
I was-
crazy.
Yes.
I was so geeked when Jordan Peele came out. I was like, Kojima and Jordan Peele I would have never thought ever.
Good collab, man.
Man,
Yeah.
it's a dope ass collab, man. I was like, this is going to be whatever it is. It's going to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna. That's the thing. It's gonna be eyeballs. Like, say what you will about Kojima, love him, hate him.
Right.
I know he definitely has his haters, and he definitely has people that love him. But he brings attention
Oh yeah.
to your
Yeah.
platform.
Without a doubt.
He brings
Without a doubt.
eyes to your stuff, and you can tell like Microsoft going in on the marketing already. T-shirts,
Yeah.
right? This big presence here. Like if you're getting all these huge filmmakers, Jordan Peele ain't cheap. I
Mm-mm.
doubt he's
Nope.
doing this for
No.
free. You know what I
No.
mean? So like money is being spent on this, right? And
Yeah.
then you have the announcement that biggest announcement of the show. Things that it seemed like everybody knew about, but nobody wanted to leak.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Blade from
so
Arcane
much-
Leon. I saw
Shout out
RHETRI
to
on
the
like
Xbox community.
Boom show or whatever, being like, I know what it is, but I'm
Dude,
not.
I wanted to scream it. I've been wanting a Marvel. I've been talking about superhero forever for Xbox to get. I'm so glad it happened.
I had a funny ass
yeah.
video queued up I was working on all day, so whenever they announced it, I could just drop it on
Just hit that send. Yeah.
Yep.
So many of us were doing that too, Black Viking. Like so many of us had like on Twitter, like, and I was talking to some guys where we're watching this and we're all ready to like hit the send button on the Blade and
Yep.
like some other stuff. The other stuff that didn't happen that the same insiders told us would. And I was so like, some of us were like, shit, we got to keep our hands away from the send button because if we push out some shit that
I
is
know.
not real,
I know.
people are going to be pissed. And Baldur's
Mhm.
Gate was one of those things. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shout out to the Xbox community, man, for not. I didn't see any podcasters. I did see some people.
I saw one.
Say it was Blade.
Like
Okay.
rumored. Yeah, I saw one.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some
people.
people like kind of dance around it like ACG did, which I thought was funny. But I didn't see anybody like really push it out there. I saw some guys get it right and they guessed Blade and whatnot. But man, that many people. There's a lot of us that knew. That many people that kept that a secret.
Well,
I'm shocked.
Like the whole gaming industry knew for the most part.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody knew. And I don't know if it was because like nobody believed it because they didn't want to like if you
That's
say
what I'm wondering.
they're working
Yeah.
on Blade and then you put your name to it and it's not Blade because even
Right.
I
Yeah.
explained it on Xbox 2 and Xbox Era yesterday. Like the timeline for me at least was about like 2.5 weeks ago on the podcast I predicted what would be at the Xbox show as I always do, right? My
Mhm.
ran predictions in quotes as I
Mhm.
sometimes do. I had heard there was going to be 3 Xbox announcements. So I said, okay, I made sure to guess there about 3 games, right? Which nobody would put those one and one together because you got to be subtle about this. I'm never going to leak anything like
Mhm.
at all ever, but like I'll tease stuff and I'll do predictions. And then I was like, okay, it's either going to be Gear 6, Indiana Jones,
Right.
or an Arcane Leon game, right? Because at the time I was hearing that Arcane Leon was coming with a new IP. And I was like, oh, a new IP? That's interesting. I thought they were doing Deathloop 2, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, Arcane Leon. And then Jez found out Arcane Leon was going to be there like a little bit after I already knew. And he's like, wait a minute, didn't you predict this? I was like, yeah. And he's like, you knew already. I'm like, sure did. So about a week ago, so it was like Saturday last week, I went to Special Nick and I said, hey, I'm hearing that Arcane Leon's going to be there with something. And I think it might be something new. And then Special Nick's like, yeah, I'm hearing the same. And I'm actually hearing it's a Blade game from Marvel.
Mhm.
And then he was like, I don't believe it though. It can't be true.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of
I was
people
like,
didn't
a
believe
Blade
it.
game? I'm like, are
Yeah.
you serious? A Blade? Because I was like, people have been really hammering home the idea of Xbox needing its own superhero game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like how big
I've
it would
been
be.
wanting
And it's like, I've been
Spawn.
saying you need it. You need it to get Game Pass
Agreed.
into the minds of the casuals because you need big IP that have a huge reach to broaden that sort of stuff. So it's like,
Yeah, the mass appeal.
They need
Absolutely.
their own Star Wars game or they need their own Marvel game. And it was
Yep.
like, is Xbox really doing? Because we had heard, remember, like there was
Yes.
interviews where like the Marvel people were like, no, we went to Xbox and we're like, you want to work with us? And Xbox was like,
Yep.
no. And then they went to
Right.
Sony and Sony was like, yeah. And then that's how Spider-Man happened with Insomniac. And we saw, the great success that the Spider-Man games have had for PlayStation and Insomniac.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, now we're getting Blade. And the thing that makes me really excited about the Blade game is I'm a super fan of Arcane. Leon's never like let me down. Dishonored, Deathloop are amazing. I'm looking at what happened, what Insomniac was doing before, and what Insomniac has been since. Because when you're doing a Marvel game, there's a certain quality level you have to achieve, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Without a doubt.
And Insomniac clearly was inundated with investment. Because if you look at their previous games, you look at Spider-Man, and look what they've done with Spider-Man, even look what they've done with the Ratchet and Clank since and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
They took that next step, right?
Yeah.
Arcane Leon's
Without
always
a-
been a developer that is basically people love, but they're sort of underappreciated in the
Yeah.
wider
They don't
gaming
sell that
community,
great.
right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing a Marvel game and you're doing Blade, I feel like the investment into the studio and into that game is going to exceed any other investment they've ever had for any other game. Like the pressure's going to be
without a
on
doubt.
because this is a partnership. This is Marvel. They're they don't want to put out crap. Although I guess you can look at the movies recently and say, well, is that the case?
They tried not to put out crap. They didn't realize it was
try
crap,
not
I
to.
think.
So I'm thinking like, man, this could be what brings more eyes to Arcane, and then this could be what propels Arcane to the next level in a similar fashion of what propelled Insomniac to the next level, because you get all the investment, you get like new talent, and you get people that want to work on it. So like, yeah, dude, like it's an exciting announcement. You know, like it is like, you know, I never in a Blade game. Are you serious? With like Arcane and a visceral, like mature third person. Like
third person.
That is so cool,
Yeah,
dude. Like that is so
that's
cool.
what's the third person alone got. I was like, yes. I'm like, thank you. Like I want to see Blade. You know what I mean? I don't want that first person thing. That's just me. What do you guys? Do you guys care either way if it was first person or third person? Or do you prefer one over the other?
I feel like this
Xbox
probably
needs
needs
more third. Sorry, go ahead, Rand.
No, I was just saying, I think for this game, they probably need third, and I think Marvel probably. I don't want to say would mandate
strongly suggested,
but you want to see want to see the character, right?
Right.
You want to see Spider-Man, you want to see Captain America, you want to see Black Panther, you want to see Blade. You don't want to see you want to, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I think it's cool as third person. Yeah,
definitely. The third person, like you said, you get to see the character in action, moving around, and I don't think it's going to be a sad Blade simulator. I think it's going to be a pretty gruesome, bloody, awesome,
sad Blade simulator. I like that.
Just a lot of gore and vampire stuff. I think it's gonna be cool. And a shout out to the one or two ponies out there that were saying. Look, looks like they're coming with Redfall 2, the Blade edition or something like that. I was like, wow, that's pretty
wrong studio, stupid.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think when you heard it was Blade? When you were like, okay, there's rumors going around it's Blade. What did you think? Like, oh, what? Really?
I'm not gonna lie. And I talked about this with Boom and everyone when we were in the green room. I was a little surprised that it was Arcane Leon. I thought maybe they would go with a different studio on the Xbox umbrella, but I also, under Arcane, that is the studio I like more. I wasn't a big fan of Deathloop, but Dishonored series is definitely something that I love. So for me personally, I was a little shocked, but again, I like to see these studios go in different directions. I mean, this is definitely a different direction for Arcane Leon, and obviously, the director's super excited. That's kind of like what I like to feed off of. You saw him like talking to the Marvel exec and the director there. Speaking up on stage at the Game Awards, and that's what excited me. Like just his excitement alone, him being from Paris, him being able to speak the language, and having the whole setting take place in Paris. I'm excited for it, man. Like I'm curious to see, is it going to be a stealthy Blade mixed with tech, or is it going to be balls out like the movies are? Where I just want to see the gadgetry too. Like I want to see a Blade that moves quickly and has cool futuristic tech. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I'm excited about to see if they're going to incorporate a lot of martial arts in it too. Like I think that'd be. Really
I hope
just
so.
Just like the movies.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, and I think like I'm super excited because like the Marvel movie for Blade should come out relatively like within a year or two of each other, right?
Maybe.
So like. Yeah, because I mean, it's usually. I mean, I don't see that Marvel. Did they announce a date for the Marvel movie?
No, they
Marvel
actually
movie.
It went back to script. They actually,
but it
went back.
Isn't it set for 2025? No.
Is it? Well, it did go back to square one.
Well, I know, but I mean, there's only one Marvel movie next year, and that's Deadpool 3. But then I thought like 2025 was. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe Blade doesn't have a year yet. I guess.
Yeah.
Is the same guy playing Blade, or did that change, Dave?
No, same guy. Yeah.
Okay, it is still him. All right. Okay.
2 times Academy Award winner. Yes.
Good actor, man. Good actor.
So hopefully the movie's good, and then like a lot of people will be looking forward to the Blade game, especially the casual sphere. Yeah.
So talking about the, I gotta got to do this part, man, because he's
Yeah,
he actually does his little move.
dude, he does his little karate chop at the end there. Yeah,
The
I'm so excited.
Arcane Lyon is, you know, pouring so much love into this immersive third-person action adventure set in the heart of Paris. So please sit back, let us cook, and voila! Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Whoa. Stunts too. Ding a bell. Thank you very much, guys.
Definitely think that might be a move in the game, huh? What do you think?
You got that kick way up there, man.
He did.
I would have fell over if I did that shit at this age.
Yeah, I love the passion,
Right,
that he showed,
exactly.
right? And I
Yeah.
mean, he's like, hey, he basically saying, let us cook, right? Because
Mhm.
I have this feeling this game's far out. I have
Oh,
this
yeah.
feeling this game is 2027.
Yep.
You know,
this could be next gen, Randall.
well,
Like, I don't
yeah, I mean,
know.
it could be, depending on when next gen starts. Because I did see a
Right.
tweet from of someone who's ex Arcane, who had worked on Blade for a year, and he said my like whole last year was Blade. Can't love that it's out here
Okay.
now. So you
Oh,
figure,
nice.
okay,
All right.
maybe they started working on it last year. AAA development now is 4, 5, 6 years, right?
Yeah.
So
sure. Yep.
you're looking probably, I would say you're probably looking at the earliest you can expect this game is 2026.
Yeah.
But
think
I
so.
wouldn't be
That's fair enough.
surprised
Absolute
2027.
earliest.
You know, so either way, like I like the
Teetering
idea
right
of
on
like,
the end of this gen or beginning of the next one.
yeah, and how like the Marvel guys, he said, oh, we came with this pitch, and the Marvel guys, oh, we
Yeah.
loved it, and even Pete Hines was like, yeah, their pitch was fire, and sometimes that's all it
Mhm.
really
That's
takes.
cool.
Is like you take a great pitch there, and they're like, all right, let's do it, right? Because we know Marvel's not shy about like doing games. They got an Iron Man game coming with EA
Yeah,
Motive. You got a
definitely
Black
not.
Panther game coming. You got a
Mhm.
Captain America and Black Panther game coming combined from like a relatively new studio or a studio that doesn't really have like big hits under them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Obviously, Spider-Man Wolverine with PlayStation. So they want to collaborate, right? They want their IPs and stuff out there. And I think they want to pick good studios to do it with. And I sort of always felt, because there was always this talking point that like Xbox doesn't want to do licensed content. And I think
We
a
know
lot of
that.
that stemmed from, okay, the interview where we heard the Marvel guys said, oh, Xbox didn't want to, they wanted to focus on their own stuff. They didn't want to do anything, right?
Right.
But then there's also
that
like
and Phil talking about owning their own IP.
owning
I
IP,
think
like
set
the
a lot
idea
of
of
people
like,
off too.
hey, Warner
Yeah.
Brothers is for sale. And we know from the leaked documents and all that stuff it was, but and even in Phil's email, the thing that kind of maybe prevented it was you don't own any of the IPs.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
think that was a
Yep.
stick. So it's like you think, okay, well, that maybe Xbox isn't really into licensing stuff, even though
Yeah.
they do. It's like they do some stuff, like like
definitely
the Sea of
do.
Thieves has a good relationship with Disney for their stuff,
Disney,
and you're like,
yep.
Mm-hmm.
but then you see this, and it's like, oh. And I've always made the argument that I think Xbox would totally license anything if the team came to Phil or Matt with a really great pitch for a game that the studio was behind. They'd be like, all right, 100%. And it feels like that's what happened with Blade. Was like the
Yeah.
pitch, they were all behind it, and it was like, all right, let's do this. Now I don't know if this is pre-acquisition or post-acquisition. Not really sure. It seems like maybe
Right.
it's post-acquisition, but maybe it's before. But
You never know how long these things are cooking, man. Right?
yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
exciting either way.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely.
Man,
definitely.
when I first heard about it, I didn't know which Arcane studio it had, and I was like, I swear
Right.
to God, if this is Redfall DLC, I am going to
Hey,
break my
Listen,
phone.
Yeah.
to be fair, Austin created, I think,
I know,
might be the best arcade. Prey, I love Prey.
No,
man.
it is.
Like, I
It
think
is for sure.
it's mint. Spartan661 with the $5 super chat. This is actually directed at you, Viking. It says,
Okay.
question for the Black Viking. Two-handed hammer / axe weapon or weapon and shield, sword, hatchet, arrow and blade, or up close with blades, assassin style. Man, he's okay.
This
he's-
is pretty easy. First,
He's got it right here.
First, I'll sound my horn. Okay.
Yes.
And
Dude, that thing looks legit. I like it.
I have a legit. I mean, that's metal and good wood,
Norse.
right? Good
Nice.
wood.
Good wood. Good wood.
And then
Oh, yeah.
I have my axe here, man. So nice and pretty.
Nice.
Legit. It's not. This is not a mall toy. Like that was special made. Special
So he's not
special
just
made in
Black
Norway.
Viking in name, guys.
Yeah.
He's got the gear to back it up.
I'm about my shit.
Yeah.
I love it.
One of my favorite avatars, I gotta say, I love that little like the baby Viking just going like,
Yeah.
I love your avatar.
Yeah,
man.
it's on
That's so
thumbnail.
funny.
It's pretty awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey, Infinite Umbra, no pause, man. I don't pause over here, baby.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Going all in. Yeah. Sorry about earlier, guys. I got disconnected. I lost power. I'm surprised I'm even back on the show this quickly. So,
well, we're glad you are.
My bad.
No, yeah. Damn it, RHETRI. Pay your bill. I'm just kidding.
Baby Jesus was like, "You gone. See ya."
Too funny.
Yeah.
Shout out to the over 230 people in the chat, including Infinite Umbra, Mav from Fun Speculation, and a whole lot more. Mr. Joanna Dark, and so many more. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and joining us with Randall Thor19 in the Black Viking. And I guess we'll probably let's go to the Black Viking with that same question. And what was your personal highlights of the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I had quite a bit, man. I think Hellblade.
Take
2,
your time, man.
It's Hellblade 2 for sure stole the show for me, especially showing that combat and seeing the different environments she was walking through. And y'all might have shit on this, but Hill Young is one of my favorite bands. And when they came out, I was stoked. I was pissed because I had to mute it, like so I don't get copyrighted strike.
Right.
Streaming it. But when I was in Norway, man, we listened to them all the time, man. So shout out to
really
them for,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Hill Young, it sounds amazing, dude. It's like Viking rock type music. It's pretty dope. Blade was another good one. Tales.
So you weren't
Cancer?
mad that you weren't mad that they took up a bunch of time because you were already into the band, so that didn't bother you? Or
no, that didn't bother me at all, man. I fucking love them.
Yeah.
And bias, of course. Tales of Kenzura, whenever that dude gave his heartfelt story about his father passing away and wanting to make a game.
Oh yes,
like that looked good, man. Like, and I think I was more drawn in because of the African nature of it and just his story.
Is that's wait, are you talking about the side scroller? This is Zao?
Zao,
dude,
yeah.
That's on my list. To me, like a lot of people, and I'm big into the Moon Studios games, but people have been saying for a while, like, who can duplicate the Moon Studios type of aesthetic and stuff? And that game instantly reminded me of Ori. Like just the way it looked and the verticality and the different powers and the art style. I was like, dude, that is on my radar for sure. So good shout out on that one.
A surprise was Metaphor by Atlas. And then I saw the Xbox logo pop up at the end, and I was like, oh, because we was like raving about it, and then we saw the Xbox logo pop up. And we was like, oh, this is going
Xbox and Windows, like,
man.
So we do know that Xbox knows what their logo looks like.
Hey, but Ran, there's a couple of points about the Blade stuff.
Yeah.
About the Blade stuff.
I think it was genius marketing. I think it was
genius marketing. And think about like when you look at Xbox views on YouTube for some of the game releases that they have versus Marvel doing it. Like Marvel doing the promotion for it, like it was like 2.5 million views, like very quickly. If it was on Xbox's like on their YouTube channel, it would have been.
I mean, I was joking.
You know,
it's like that's the whole.
I know.
Point was like the logo, and it's like, well, you know,
it's all I had to say was arcane
honestly,
for me.
I kind of think they did that on purpose. I kind of think it might have been genius because now everyone's talking about, well, where is it? Is it exclusive or not? But like maybe. I mean, come on, their logo was everywhere else except.
It's been trending on Twitter since.
I don't know. Right. I think that might have maybe I'm giving too much credit. Maybe that was just a genius baller move, and they're like, let the PlayStation guys just run with this over and over and over again, and keep that
and the media
keep that
too,
train trending.
They're all PlayStation guys too, so
yeah.
So and then Usual June looked pretty dope too. She came. It was it's like a little hack and slash, little black girl. That was
from the developer of Tunic, right?
Finji or something like that.
Finji.
Yeah. That looked really good. And then I hate listening to Shaun sometimes, but Light No Fire looked good. But I'm gonna wait until until like
right.
comes
I
out.
know.
Wait 3 years
it's
until
on-
until after it comes out when it's
It
Yeah.
does look good though, man. I gotta
Yeah.
admit that art looks good. It was on my
Yeah.
list as well.
And of course, yeah, the Sega announcement blew me away too, with all those old games coming back. I saw the
Mhm.
license plate. First I heard like the little coin, the Sonic coins or whatever. I was like, okay, here it
Yep.
goes. And then like I saw like the Crazy Taxi license plate and the Viking helmet. I was like, oh, okay. And then it zoomed in on the arcade that says Shinobi on top. I was like, what
Yeah.
they showing? And
Hey,
then the first, yeah, what's up?
well, I was just gonna say, like, at least they didn't show anything Sonic related. Shout out Everborn. You know, 'cause Sega knows
No,
nobody wants
Sonic.
that anymore.
Yeah.
It's about
You
all
got
this
the-
other
you
stuff
only
that's
got a
not
sound effect, that
mediocre
was
ass
it.
Sonic, right?
I only got one thing. I only got one thing to say.
Yes.
Sega.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Mhm.
the first game they showed was Jet Set Radio, man, and
Yes.
the kid in
That's
me
my-
just
that's my
jumped
game.
out,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that was
Imagine
a great
if that
moment.
didn't leak. Because remember, Persona 3
know,
Reloaded
it did leak.
and Jet Set
It
Radio
leaked.
leaked at the same time from like the same
It did.
thing.
Yep.
Oh, dude,
And
That little,
I
yeah,
didn't
the
see
blurry
leak there.
video.
And you know
I
what?
made a
You know
video
what?
on it. Yeah.
I even sort of wonder what would it have been like if Blade didn't leak.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know, how would people's
Yeah.
reactions be if
The
you'd be sitting
impact.
there, you didn't know that Arcane Leon was coming with something, and then you see it and you're like, wait, Arcane Leon's, and then it's Blade, like, because I think maybe some of the reactions might be a little bit muted because like
Yeah, I
people
agree.
know, like a lot of people knew in the community, it seemed like everybody know, but what would the reactions would have been like if you didn't know and you had no clue, right?
right.
Right.
It's always wondering, like, okay, maybe there's a multiverse out there where, everybody's watching it and had no clue, and people really freak out because they're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Right.
Like, that
So,
would be
Rand, are you
awesome.
saying everybody in the crowd already pretty much knew that game was going to be announced?
I mean, I think a lot of people knew. I don't know how many people in the crowd knew, but definitely lots of people knew.
I mean, the
that game was
hardcore
a
guys are
thing.
probably at the show, and I think a lot of them probably know, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would imagine. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, because I saw it when we did the podcast with Boom. I went back and I saw someone who had talked about it, and it was like 5 hours before we even went live on the podcast. I was like, shh, crap. I'm like, it's gonna be everywhere now. But Spartan with the Spartan 661 with the $2 super chat says, "Do you know of Amon Amath? My wife wants to know." I have no clue who that is, brother. Does anyone know who he's talking about, or Dave?
Amon
Nope.
Amarth.
I don't know.
Nope.
Who that is. Did you? I thought you were saying you knew, Dave.
Oh no, I have no clue. But
Oh,
if you
okay.
want more detail in the regular chat, you can, and we'll try and see. if we can figure it out for you.
Yeah. I'm not sure who that is, but let us know. We
Not sure
definitely
what he's
wanna know for
referencing.
sure.
Man,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Go.
I'm not sure.
We go pretty fast here. There you
Yeah,
go.
but
Yeah, that Sega stuff looked really good.
yeah, I agree. All right, I guess I'll ask you, Dave. What were your
Mhm.
highlights for the show? Were anything that stood out for you personally?
Yeah, I said on another show the other night, but or the other day, I should say, on Boom Show. But I will say that for sure it was the I like the Sega stuff. I thought that was great. It was awesome, and it's very anticipated now. I'm extremely intrigued by the OD, the overdose from Kojima. I'm really, with all the amazing talent that he said he's got together for this. He
Yeah,
called
the
them even
Avengers is what he
the
said.
Avengers. Yeah, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like, wow, that's going to be pretty amazing, and I think they're going to, put in a lot of work, because he doesn't, and what we were talking about in the green room, that the video clip that we played earlier that was shown at the award show, that is actual. That wasn't like the actors. That was actual the motion capture with the digital effects on it. That's how good that looks
Yep.
with that program that what they're using, and it's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. And I guess the final biggest highlight for me was the actual release date for Black Myth Wukong. That is so. I'm so excited for that game. It really looks like it's going to be fun, diverse, and a lot of different. Kind of reminds me of Elden Ring, where you kind of like it's not like the same thing cookie cutter over and over again. It just seems like you're gonna get a lot of variety in your bosses and in your the quests and things you got to go through. And the reason I'm also excited about that is that actually it comes out on my wife's birthday, so I won't forget it this year. Honey, yes, I've never forgotten it. It's 2 days before mine.
Right.
It's 2 days before mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're not forgetting that. Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, that's that was my big takeaways. I thought it was a good show overall, but like you said, it was definitely not very much award, and they need to fix that, give a much better balance to it. I understand that he wants to, get as much ads in, but maybe he needs to, quit being such a whore. Sorry, and literally, have reject some advertisement or something and be like, we don't have room for that this year. Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, but it doesn't. It seems like it's somebody, here's $10. Who will put that on for you? And it's like anything they came at him with, it seemed like he was going to put it in the show. And he was like, "Oh, we got to get the show down in a certain amount of time." And it was because of him and all the advertising they had in there that it was almost 4 hours long. So.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that how long that it's advertised as 3 hours. This is definitely not 3 hours because, like I said, the other day on another show, they were trying to get like all the esports stuff and all the awards like out of the way in the pre-show. They got a bunch of those awards out of the way actually. So even in the prime time of the show itself, there was even less than the original 30 awards that were there in the first place. But yeah, so I guess I'll talk on like what stood out to me. Definitely Exodus. I know I made fun of Matthew McConaughey and him being there and all that stuff, and I get that he's voicing characters on Exodus, although I didn't hear his voice whatsoever on the trailer for Exodus, but maybe he did that good of a job. Yeah, I was really listening. I'm like, I can't hear him, but maybe he did that good of a job. I don't know.
Maybe they'll write in. All right.
I honestly, I would be okay with that. So that gets me excited because it's an RPG. It's BioWare devs that started their own studio. So it was like to see like new studios coming up, and this is I think their first game under, I think it's called Archetype, I think is the name of the studio. So guys from KOTOR, Baldur's Gate, Mass Effect. I mean, we got some heavy hitters that are working on Exodus. But what I think gets me most excited about that game in particular is the whole like time dilation or whatever they're calling it sort of thing, where whatever you do really can have some serious effects. Like if you decide to go and save someone on another planet, you come back and 40, 50 years have gone by.
Interstellar.
And no one's alive. You know what I mean? Like that's some serious like consequences, I think, built into that game with that idea. So I'm all about it. I think the bad guys, I think they were called Celestials, in that game looked really cool. So all about Exodus. Exodus is high on my list. Hellblade 2, of course, we finally got the combat trailer, so I was happy to see that. It looks great. Definitely, in my opinion, the best showing visually, graphic fidelity wise, out of anything on the show, kind of by leaps and bounds, really. Moon Studios, it's Moon Studios. Like I've been waiting for a new Moon Studios game for a while. It's kind of cool that they're going action RPG and they're stepping away from what they're used to. So we'll see how that goes. And that's coming out in March. So I'm excited about that. But probably the one that got me feeling like, I think Black Viking said something along these lines, like almost like a kid again, was definitely the Sega announcement that I've been like touting the Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio is probably my number one IP for them to bring back. So I was freaking like so floored and excited that that's coming back. And not knowing that stuff like Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe were also in their purview for what they're going to be bringing back. Plus they said more games besides the 5 that they showed during that 90-second trailer has got me thinking like, what the hell are we going to get next? But yeah. Super looking forward to all the Sega stuff coming back. They clearly took a page out of Capcom's books, all the money they're making, and I don't blame them. So
No.
Yeah, I'm really
Cool.
hoping that we have Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
yeah.
remake. Oh,
Making a
I
comeback.
still have
Yeah.
that game, man.
You know, it's
Sorry.
funny. We saw that came out on Twitter, a bunch of like old Sega games, and now I'm getting why that
yeah.
was shown because Golden Axe was there. Some of the other games that they announced were in there, so I was like, that went around Twitter real quick. So now I know why that was out there. But Kojima's been hit or miss for me. His games, I like his old school games better. I'm a Silent Hill guy, Metal Gear. But I am excited about OD. I'm going back to his roots, in my opinion. We'll see what happens with that. There's rumors that it might be episodic.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Do you think, because the name, like we had heard before, was Overdose. Do you think OD is a better name than Overdose?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think
I
so,
don't know.
yeah.
Maybe I'm all by myself. I guess I'm on an island by myself on that one. No,
I
don't,
think it's
but
probably because of its, I guess, incantations or whatever you want to call
like
it.
two in your face.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Overdose has a could trigger
get
some people.
it's PC.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like politically
I think
correct, which is
I-
fine.
I thought Overdose was a better title, but then I saw the T-shirt
too.
and the stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I think OD
Like marketing wise,
fits better.
Yeah.
Like OD
Yeah.
is
OD
easy.
on
I don't know.
fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love the concept. You know,
And that is an
I'm more
abbreviation they use in the
curious-
medical community as well.
That's
he OD'd
true.
on this or OD'd on that or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were hearing some rumors. And I know this is. I'm just pulling this out. I don't know if any of this is true. That this might be an episodic thing. Because we saw some guys making fun of it, saying that it's a small project, with Xbox working on the cloud. I don't necessarily believe that. I think if this is episodic, then it's kind of like multiple small projects that work in tangent with each other to become a big project, essentially. You know what I mean? Like,
do
if
you
this
really
was
think
like
that Microsoft is going to spend the kind of money it's going to take to get
I
Kojima
don't, Dave.
for all
No,
the
I
cloud,
don't.
and then to
I don't.
spend the money for Jordan Peele, much less whoever
No.
else he says is a legend that's going to be working on this, and then we're like, it's about an hour worth of gameplay. Enjoy.
Well, I mean,
No,
to be fair,
I believe it could be episodic. I believe it could be like 2 to 4 hours per episode, if you want to call it. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Ram. What were you going to
I was
say?
going to say Kojima Productions is not that big of a studio, and we know
Well,
they're
they're
working
not.
on Death Stranding 2, which I would imagine is where most of the work is being done. So they don't really have the headcount to really do 2 AAA projects side
At the
by
same
side.
time.
Yeah. So I mean, even on Twitter, Kojima described OD as avant-garde.
Yeah, that's true,
Mhm.
Rand. He did say that. He did say that.
So I mean, there's even talk like, is this even a game? Right? Like, I mean, they said it is, but they
Versus,
said
like, a
it's like a
movie.
game, but
Right.
like a movie.
Do you think it'll
you
be like
know-
Quarry, kind of like supermassive games, like more along the lines of like the game that Quarry and what was he Until
Maybe.
Dawn, something
Maybe
like
it'd
that?
be like a fusion of that and like Netflix's Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
yeah,
where it's like
okay.
interactive.
That's cool.
I like
Um,
that idea.
The thing is, I don't know, and
Yeah.
we know Jordan Peele's doing it, and Kojima said there's other creators, legendary creators that are gonna lend a hand and do some stuff. So maybe it's like each one has their own short, like you said. Maybe
Like
it's
a-
not
yes!
episodic. It's like
Right.
7 short stories or 7
Right.
whatever. I
That'd
don't
be
know.
sick.
Separate individual things that you can watch, like
The
take
trips in
by
horror.
themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like
we'll see.
what Del Toro just did on Netflix not long
Yep.
ago. He did the Curiosity. I can't remember what it was called, Cabinet
Yeah.
of Curiosities or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, where everything, kind of like Tales from the
Hey,
Crypt type of.
Retri, I
So-
want you to read. I want you to read 3 of these real quick.
Okay.
Hold 1 second,
Sure.
Black Light, and then we'll get right back to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So read
Okay.
that one, and then 2
Yeah,
more.
and I agree with this 100%. One Bad Mother says episodic doesn't mean small, especially with the Hollywood people they're bringing in. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like,
Okay,
who
now
knows?
read this one.
A Kojima and Jordan Peele as a small project? Question mark. Yeah,
And this is the best.
illegal. I like that name, by the way. Amit. Death Stranding is the day job. OD is his passion. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, because maybe
I don't know.
Microsoft is
Maybe.
what's the word I'm looking for here? And shout out to OBM.
Throwing the money bags.
Maybe Microsoft is indulging Kojima's passion to essentially
Right.
make a movie, quote unquote. Right?
Yeah, doing like
Yeah.
what he's wanted to do forever. I mean, he kind of all but said this.
But yeah, I mean, but
yeah.
the thing is, like, we have no idea what the game is,
We really
if it's a
don't.
game,
We
what
really
it is, and then like even the timetable for it.
No,
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
this is a
I don't have
next
a
gen game?
clue.
You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I saw a lot of people like, "Oh my god, that trailer was awesome." I was like, it was faces. Like, I get
Yeah,
it
but
looks
it was-
good, but I was like, you know,
the
there's
faces were,
nothing to it.
but you saw people say the faces were real, right? Like they thought that was the real actors' faces when
I
that
did.
is.
I got
I
fooled.
thought so
I got
at
fooled.
first.
That
yeah.
is
It
no, that is
100%.
Unreal Engine 5. That's metahuman.
I got fooled.
Mhm.
So
God, metahuman.
So
you know it's
so-
gonna have a look. You know it's gonna be impressive. Whatever
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
like.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Black
So-
Viking. Go ahead.
100%.
do y'all remember whenever Kojima first said why he was excited for this project? It was because of Microsoft's
We
cloud.
couldn't do it, right? Right.
Mhm.
Because
Exactly.
of the cloud,
Yep.
right? So I have a sneaky suspicion that AI is going to be a large part of this game
Mm,
or movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it might not even be
Oh, yeah.
episodic. It might be the infinite amount of playthroughs you can do if it's always going to bounce off of whatever AI that it's doing, as far as because we always talked about this, especially when Microsoft went in with OpenAI
Mm-hmm.
and bought what was that 49% pretty much of them, like to incorporate AI.
Yeah. It's like 10
into
billion. I don't remember what the
NPCs,
percentage
right?
was, but yeah.
To incorporate AI into NPCs, into characters and stuff like that. So I
Sure.
think that it will definitely use that tech. Because why else would you need cloud unless it's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, there's things that you could do with cloud where you could offload some of the processing to do some stuff.
Hey,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know what it would be
Yep.
for this. It's funny because
I don't know.
on Xbox Air last night, Tom Henderson jumped in for a minute. And Tom Henderson was the
Okay.
one that had leaked the name and some of the details, and he had said some of the information that he had maybe sort of changed. I think he said the scope of the game maybe changed a little bit, but there was even a thing he heard that the game would like text your phone or whatever.
Oh,
like
yes. Yeah.
sort of.
shit.
I don't know.
Dude, Dave, we talked about that too, dude. The interactivity. You actually mentioned that a while ago, dude. So
I
shout
don't
out
need.
to
I
you.
don't need that.
Yeah, that's what I said, dude. Like, I love
Nah.
scary games, but I was like, "Uh-oh, you coming into my real life? I don't know, bro." But that could be cool.
I see that you're
Rand.
home now. You need
Right.
to join me on the console. What?
Right. Yeah. Stop watching me.
How did you
Yeah.
know that?
I don't hate it, but man, yeah, that's like it's getting a little serious here. But yeah, I could see the AI definitely coming into play here, and it's Kojima absolutely is talking about the cloud. So who knows what that means, right? It's still up in the air on to what point they could actually be using the cloud exactly.
Yeah,
One bad mother
and-
says,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Diff.
No, you go ahead.
He said, "I'm expecting something unique in design. Microsoft is looking for ways to sell the benefit of clouding gaming." Yeah, that's a good point. They've had people hinting at new genres / game design for years. So there you go.
Well,
That's a
yeah,
good
to add
point,
on
too.
what OBM said, there's also, even when this whole thing was rumored that they were working together before it was announced, remember Jeff Grubb was like the only one saying
Right.
that they were working together. Nobody else was like, I don't
Mhm.
know. But also
Yep.
some of the things was like Microsoft wanted to like show that you could work with them, and they were going to kind of use is the wrong term, but like collaborate with Kojima to show
Right.
other Japanese creators
What's
that
possible.
you could do the same thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Shout out to Luis Jose, who said the same thing earlier. He said Microsoft is the only one who understood what OD means. So yeah, absolutely. Said one bad mother says, think about how Chat GPT is evolving and even use Skyrim mods on PC. It's inevitable that'll be in gaming. 100% agree, man. That Chat and GPT, I've used it, is seriously powerful, man. It's a little scary powerful, but all right, I'll move on to some of my stuff that I think. Game science, I'm all about. Black Myth Wukong, I've been talking about that. I've been watching the game for years, waiting for that to come out with the Monkey Warrior. Cool Chinese game, so hopefully that will be a hit. And I'm hoping Game Pass, it'll be in Game Pass. I think I feel like that wouldn't cost too much money, and I think that's would be a good get. A lot of people are looking forward to that Souls type of game. And Zao, that side scroller, looks awesome. Reminds me of Ori a lot. It's visually impressive. So I'm all about that. Of course, Blade. I've been asking for anything. I wanted either Hulk, Blade, or Deadpool. So I got Blade, and I'm fine with that. One of my favorite movies. And remember, he's the one who basically brought back the Marvel universe in the first place,
100%.
and let people realize that hey, we can make some money off of these IPs and the big screen. So yeah, and to what Black Viking said earlier, light no fire. I'm a little hesitant about saying that because No Man's Sky was not for RHETRI. I was not for me. But man, I'll tell you, the world that they're building, if what I'm seeing is reality, looks absolutely stunning. It looks gorgeous. You'd be able to fly on dragons, go play multiplayer, go across the earth.
If.
Apparently, that's a big. It's a big if. I don't want to get too crazy on what they're doing, but looking forward to that, whatever it's going to be, and whenever the heck that's coming, I don't know. But those were kind of my highlights, man. But yeah, so that's what I had for highlights. But I did want to. Did you have anything to add, Dave, or anything before I go on to?
No, I already got my bars off. So, yep.
All right, cool. I guess I'm going to ask you guys, what would you do if you were Keighley to change the awards, and in what fashion, what sorts of things that do you think he can do? Because a lot of us, we talked about this on the podcast the other day, on another podcast, on PTK's podcast, and I feel like a lot of us are complaining about stuff. So what are some solutions that you think? Less Muppets, less maybe orchestra stuff, I don't know, to give some more time back to these creators for their speeches? Or what do you think Keighley could improve on for future Game Awards? I'll start with you, Bran.
Depends on the goal, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get more viewership, gotta get more trailers and reveals and less awards.
Right.
Right? If you want the criticism to stop, then obviously you need to roll it back, right? Have less reveals, or at least less gonzo things in the orchestra, and let more people accept their awards and give speeches. It really depends on, do
you think Keighley cares? At the end of the day, he's definitely making money off of this. Do you think he's going to take what a lot of us and the devs have said to heart and go, I will give more time to them? Or do you think he'll just ignore it and do what he did this year and do it again next year?
I think Jeff Keighley will do what's best for Jeff Keighley. And what's best
what I think too, Rand.
And what's best for business, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he could just change the name to Winter Game Fest and just
I'd be okay with that alone.
And whatever, just don't call it the Game Awards,
right?
And it'd be good. And no, Paris, I'm not turning on my camera.
I know Dave was just about to say that too. Paris is to tell Rand to turn on his camera.
That wasn't me, Rand. That was Paris. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Welcome, Paris. Welcome.
Always riding me to get on. I'll be on camera at some point. Don't worry. I said I would. I will. But things take time.
You are.
I didn't say when it would happen. I say it will
happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
But I guess it depends on what he wants to do. You need more viewers. You need more worldwide reveals. You want to play nice with the dev community. You pull back on that. You want to keep it the same and change it to the name, the Winter's Game Fest. But I don't think he wants to do that, because I think Jeff likes the idea of this being the default award show. People are like, oh, what won Game of the Year? Even though all the outlets do their own Game of the Years and there's other award shows, it's always
this is the one we talk about.
People always talk about the Keighleys, like it's like some monument, like it's the Oscars, when it's really, when you think about it, it's a Critics' Choice Award, right? Because if you move it over to film, Oscars is voted on by people within the Academy, the directors, the actors, screenwriters, all that sort of stuff. But there is an award show called Critics' Choice where the critics give their awards, and the Game Awards is just a group of panel members from different influencer outlets and different websites that vote on it. So realistically, it's just the Critic Awards. But because it's the only one that has a large presence with all the different game trailers and ads and the viewership, it's like the de facto one, right? So I don't know what really Jeff can do. Maybe he'll probably for next year probably tone it back. So instead of only having 18 minutes dedicated to acceptance speeches, maybe they'll get 30. Maybe
Yep.
maybe allow them an extra 12 minutes, like so you'll have 30 and you can bank it or whatever. I think maybe some of it is I don't know. Like I see outlets like Metro on there as a panel. And like Metro's like one of the worst possible. It's like why is like you have some like why are they there? You know, so there's like you could look at like who's like on the panel and all that sort of stuff, and like some of it needs to clean up. Like Dave the Diver is an indie game. Get out of here.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like
and
like this is obviously like personal preference sort of thing, but like best ongoing game Cyberpunk, right?
I don't feel like that's a preference. No, I kind of think you're onto something here.
But like but Fortnite is literally it's like literally the live service game that everybody is copying. How does Fortnite literally not win that award every single year? You know what it is? You know what it is? It's because people in the game industry, I think they vote on essentially like the big names. I don't really think a lot of these people even play half the stuff. So
I think it's the same thing with Game of the Year. It's Game of the Year, and then with an asterisk of genres we prefer. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe, but I mean, I kind of almost feel like when BG3 break that mold in that regard, though, on genres we prefer, right? Because a lot of people, I think, I don't know, maybe not.
Sure.
It's clearly having a comeback, that style of game, so which is nice to see.
Yeah, I think CRPGs want to point out, have always been pretty.
I mean, we know the PC community backs. PC community is definitely backing that up. Paris says reveals pay the bills, absolutely, with viewership, but time has to be made for award winners. It's a never-ending balance. Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was making yesterday. Yeah, on the podcast I was on. I'm like, this is like, what do you do? Well, what's the fix? Do you make the show 4 hours, 5 hours? Like, no, you can't do that. So something's got to give, or it's just stays the same, and it's a 3 hour show or 3.5 hour show of reveals. And I'm not saying I don't hate it, but it did feel a little disrespectful this year to the winners, and that's too bad for guys who sometimes work on games anywhere from like 5 to 7 years. Is kind of crazy, but
it's their time to shine, and they get.
It's their time to shine, right?
Please wrap it up, B.
Get out of here. You see the giant graphic in the back. Why aren't you running out of here? But Black Viking, do you have any advice or any thoughts on what you would change personally if you were in charge instead of Mr. Keeley?
Well, Rand made a good point. I'm gonna talk about the voting aspect of it. When publications like Metroid or Metro are on there, like how many people do we even know how many people from that publication are voting, or is it just one vote per publication?
I think I don't know, Rand. Are they just they're counted as one, right? Or like, that's a good question. I don't know. Paris would know better than we would. Maybe Paris can speak on that, but I would imagine it's one.
I think they give their top. I think they give their top 5 in the category, and I think like the first pick gets like 6 points, and the second pick gets less or something.
So it's like ranked choice.
Maybe they explain it on their website somewhere exactly how like the voting actually happens. I'm not sure. You know, so Xbox 2 isn't part of the panel, so I wouldn't know. And neither is Windows Central. So.
Maybe next
year. How is Windows Central not? Whatever.
I think
I don't want to get into that.
Well, you want to know? You want to know my reason why I think?
Yeah, I do actually.
I don't think they want outlets who's only cover a specific platform, because you don't see DualShockers on there. Or
I was going to ask, is like Push Square on there? Okay,
even though DualShockers and Push Square will cover like more things, I sort of feel like maybe they shy away from like, oh, Windows Central really just covers Xbox, and those really just cover the other ones or whatever. We're not going to invite them. We're going to make sure to cover ones that, have people on here who cover everything. But like if I was voting for it, like Baldur's Gate wouldn't be there because I didn't play it, and any Nintendo game, get out of here. You know what
That's
I mean?
another thing.
Sound like me, Rand.
Is there any sort of system?
Did say one per publication, by the way, in case anyone wanted to know. Yeah. Thank you, Paris.
There are a lot of games that most people never played but heard good things and voted for it anyway. Or like City Skylines was a big one for me, right? Like, yes, the first one was really good. Like, I played games like City Skylines, but number 2 had no business being up there. It was released
not with all the issues it had.
Yeah, it was released kind of right before voting, and it was a buggy mess. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, it should have never made it up there unless there were just no
so how
other
did Spider-Man
games
get
to
up
put
there?
up there.
I couldn't help it. It was right there for the picking. I took that. Yeah.
Why are you doing my
no.
job for me, man?
Yeah. Exactly, Viking.
That's good. Yeah. But yeah, there was a couple of issues like remakes. I think there should be a remake or a remaster category for sure.
A DLC category would be
DLC
good.
category would be good instead of ongoing, you know.
Yeah.
Halo not being on a ongoing was blasphemy, like, to me, with season 4 and season 5 being so good.
I mean, you got Sea of Thieves too, one of the best in the absolute industry, who just never stops with the ongoing. Feels like that should have been there, but that's fine.
Yeah, 100%, man. And then as far as the award show, I think if they tackle, and I know all these things cost, like to rent out the venue, like it's a logistical, like, I've been in that business before. It's a logistical nightmare most of the time.
Oh yeah.
And especially paying for something like that. But adding another 15, if they really care and want to keep calling it the Game Awards, and you know, you got to pay the bills, add another 15, 20 minutes. And I think that would give everybody who comes up on stage, get rid of fucking Gonzo. And
I got crap for that. I was like, get rid of Gonzo and the Muppets, and I got some people are like, why you hating on Gonzo?
No, man, he had no business being
there.
up there. Yeah, and it added no value to the show.
Right.
To be honest, I think the only reason they are there is because of the demographic that the Muppets bring in for the younger audience. I know it seems silly, seems crazy.
My kids are 8, 12, and 15.
Do they know who the Muppets are?
No, they
but
barely.
That doesn't mean there's not a lot of people that do. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean
we do.
Have Bluey there.
I grew up with it.
That would bring in
a
demographic.
I agree with that.
You know, whoever decided.
You got a point there, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just my thoughts on it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or
right.
But
Paris says
Dave said Gonzo should be there. Everyone, you can send your hate mail to Dave. Not over here. Paris says Gonzo pays the bills. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like I think we all understand like why some of these things are there. It's just. And the more stuff you have there, the more it takes away.
It's funny, like Black Viking, you're talking about adding an extra 15, 20 minutes, or whatever. I think they need to cut an hour.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people said that. A lot of people said it's too long, and a lot of people said yesterday that it should be cut an hour. And I was like, "Who, an hour?
You young whippersnappers and your
our attention spans.
Your attention spans are crazy. I thought the 3 hours was great.
But
I think when you're starting to approach that 3 hour mark, it's just like, oh, geez. You know?
I mean, I agree with 3 hours is fine, except it wasn't technically 3 hours though. It's longer than that.
Yeah.
You
know, if it's now if it was Xbox 2 podcast, then it could go on for like 8 hours. I love that. That's different. Exactly. It's quality of the entertainment you're getting.
Yeah, that's a good point. Spartan661 says Mrs. Piggy is hotter than Gonzo. That's true. Where was Mrs. Piggy? I'm just saying.
Stop it.
Yeah.
All right, I got
an animal.
I got to play this. He's been on before. Yeah, he actually was a few years ago. I think.
That's true. He was.
Right, so I'm gonna play this. Now this is maybe considered a little salty. It's not meant to be.
Whatever.
But it's
Who
gonna
cares?
be. What?
No, I don't care. Play it.
So talking about the award show, and and some people's reaction to who actually won. Game of the year.
Oh no. Okay.
So
sorry, Rand
doesn't want to be here.
I mean, whatever. It's fine.
This one. It's less than a minute long.
Right, but hurry up.
And the game of the year is
Spider-Man 2. Come on.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Is it just me or just? I'll wait for the clip.
We got robbed. Spider-Man got robbed, bro. Spider-Man 2 is the people's game of the year, bro.
Here are the nominees for our Players' Voice 100% voted by the fans. Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Genshin Impact, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And the Game Award goes to Baldur's Gate 3.
Spider-Man 2 is the people's game of the year, bro.
I love that.
You know,
Oh,
the
man.
thing I
That's
can
too
ever
funny.
really is I don't know if people are just acting when they do that stuff because you're
I know.
on
Feels
camera,
over the top,
you're
right?
streaming. Is that your real reaction? Are you really that upset, or are you playing it up for the audience and the cameras and stuff? I always sort of wonder. But I will say this:
Mhm.
why are you so sure that Spider-Man was the second choice? Because on that list,
I don't even think it was.
Zelda
think it
was there. And
Yeah.
Zelda had beaten out Spider-Man for action adventure. So I would imagine
Yep.
the runner-up was probably Zelda. And then, considering who won the awards, I would imagine then it's Alan Wake 2,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
And so
I
you're probably
totally
looking at
agree.
Spider-Man 2 as maybe the fourth pick out of 6. But
Right.
then it's like Resident Evil 4. I don't know. Like I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I've seen that, like, well, Spider-Man was the second pick. Is like, no, it definitely wasn't.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
0-7, baby. 0-7.
Oh, it's
Well, no, Insomniac's 0-24, right?
Yeah.
Insomniac,
Are they really?
Insomniac has never won a game award ever.
Oh,
They had
shit.
four.
Yeah. Oh,
they,
for real?
they had 4 for
For real.
Sunset Overdrive, didn't win any. They had 2 for Miles Morales, didn't win
Ran.
any. They had
Ran.
7 for Spider-Man 2018, didn't win any. They had 6 for Ratchet and Clank, didn't win any. And they had 7 for Spider-Man 2, and they didn't win any. They've never won one.
just-
did my boy
you
Miles
just-
Morales
you just
dirty,
fueled-
man. Sorry.
You just
This game is
fueled my
fire.
console war.
Yeah.
Thank you.
His game, you just gave
0
Viking a bunch of
24.
ammo.
I mean, if you go and look, if you'd have to go,
Writing it
you'd have to
down.
like double check it for yourself. But yeah, they've never
Yeah,
won an
I will.
award.
Yeah.
They never
Yeah,
won.
make sure you double check it, man, because
I will.
receipts are real. They will come
Yeah,
at you,
they'll come
Viking.
after me.
It's happened to me before. It's not
Yeah, they'll come after
fun.
For sure.
Yeah. It's Paris was saying it's 100% acting. It probably is. They're definitely,
Yeah, I
I
would
think,
think so.
placating to their audience. And if they're not, that is much scarier to me than if they're not. So I hope.
I mean,
hope
but
they are,
honestly,
but-
like a lot of casuals only play, like, let's say Spider-Man, Call of Duty, 2K, and Madden,
Sure.
and FIFA. Like, so yeah, they probably thought Spider-Man was, because they wasn't going to give.
Yeah, 'cause
Baldur's
that's
Gate
all you
3
know.
the time of day. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Or
Yeah.
Alan Wake. I mean, we are on YouTube and on Twitter probably 3% of
Right.
the gaming community. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sure they did. Some of them really did think Spider-Man was going to take.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah,
can you read that
look,
one?
I believed Hogwarts was going to be fucking somewhere, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
me too.
So
It
I'll
wasn't.
take that L. Yeah,
The
Spartan
biggest snub ever,
661.
man.
The biggest, that's the worst one in my opinion. Oh, Hogwarts, I love you so much. Thank you. He says, thank you, Rand, for doing what you do. It is awesome. What you say means something and people can relate.
Well,
Absolutely.
thanks. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
that
Spartan. Appreciate
great
that.
comment. I appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll take more of that.
We have a really good community. That's what I'm saying. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We have over,
Yeah, we absolutely
over
do.
270 people in the chat right now. Thank you all
Hey.
so
Yeah,
much.
hit the
for
like
being here.
button.
That's great.
Exactly.
Thank you, Rand.
Exactly.
We always
Do
forget
what
to
Rand
say
says.
that.
Hit that like
Yeah.
button.
Yeah, hit that like button. And if you're new here and you haven't been here before, we do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Please subscribe, guys. By the way, I forgot to mention, you guys did help us get over 2,000 subscribers. This podcast has like, we're almost quadruple what we were when we started. So thank you guys so much. The support in this community is second to none. Absolutely.
And also, big shout out to Rand for hitting his 100K. I think that's
Yes.
awesome. Well deserved,
crazy.
sir.
Yeah.
Well
Thank
deserved.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And Retri,
oh.
I brought up the one post that kind of goes through
Yeah,
all the
from Okami.
who actually won
Yeah.
how many of what.
Yeah, this is interesting, man. Baldur's Gate. How many was Baldur's Gate up for 8? And they is that what the number was for them? And they won 6 out of the 8. I'm guessing. Is that right? So good on Baldur's Gate. Just started playing that, so I don't know if that's deserved, but everyone else seems to think so. But hey, Alan Wake 2 got 3 wins, so I'm happy for that, including narrative. So that's good. Forza Motorsport, 2 wins, so that's good. I know
Fuzzy
they got
happy.
accessibility.
Fuzzy happy.
Yeah, Fuzzy called it. He actually, when we talked to Fuzzy, he did say, I think it was on your podcast, Viking,
yeah.
where he did say that Forza Motorsport would win accessibility specifically. So
Yeah.
and best publishers here. So Larian Studios obviously at 6, Epic Games at 3, Nintendo at 3, Xbox Game Studios tied with Nintendo at 3, Capcom 2, Square Enix 2, and PlayStation 0.
Well, I guess you got to talk about the PlayStation tax.
I guess
'Cause
so.
I mean,
Xbox tax
is it-
is over.
Yeah,
They got
is it
3
i-
wins.
Is it over? Yeah,
Three
they got
wins.
3 wins. Is the Xbox tax now null and void? I don't know.
got the
We'll
Xbox
have to-
refund.
Yeah,
They did. They
Yeah.
did.
Xbox rebate, as Jez calls it.
absolutely. So yeah, interesting to
I would-
see all the winners here, man. You guys got any thoughts about this?
Talk about the. Hold on, let me make sure. Can I talk about the
Yes, you can.
Xbox tax for a minute?
Yeah.
Yes, you
Hold on.
can.
Is Paris
Talk
still
about
in the
whatever you
chat?
want.
No, no,
Oh, he,
no.
yeah, I'm not.
We're
I'm
gonna
not
be
gonna
nice.
Talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're good.
we'll-
No, I love Paris.
We do. We do
yeah,
too.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Paris.
No,
Yeah.
he's good.
No, I'm good. I was just making a joke there.
That's cool. Was it a joke?
It
I'm
was
just
a
kidding.
joke.
Yeah. Hey, we're not always going to agree. That's for damn true. We've seen that in the Xbox community,
I love
which
you,
is
Paris.
We
Yeah.
all love you, Paris. That's why I made him a mod so that if anybody did give any crap, he could just deal with it himself. There you go. That's how we
Plus,
roll.
you don't want
Paris
fake
boot
Paris.
me.
You know,
That. Yeah,
Exactly.
right,
people
exactly.
can use pictures and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
That's very
this
true.
is the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen it before. So, yeah. Yeah, Dave, I don't know. Did you want to talk about Grand Theft Auto as well? I think you put that in the thing. I wasn't sure where you wanted to go with that, besides the fact that Grand Theft Auto is a monster.
Well, that's basically all there was to that. It's just, I mean, the trailer dropped finally. It's crazy that it was one of the developers' kids that leaked it. So I'm
love
sure
that,
he's probably
dude.
getting
He's
a
so
beating.
grounded.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
It's GTA, baby.
It is.
Unstoppable force.
It's not gonna be coming up anytime soon. It's 25 is the earliest we're really gonna probably see much more about it, and hopefully it'll
Yeah.
release that year. But it doesn't. They can take their time, and they know they can. They're still making mint off the game that's out now, and with this little bit of a teaser, it's just whet the appetite. I hope that. I know this. People are like, "Oh, get it on Game Pass." That's not going to come to Game Pass. There's no reason for it to do it.
Probably
There's no
not.
reason to pay that kind of
Thanks for
money.
killing our dreams, Dave.
Exactly. Well, dude, I'm just
I
saying,
don't
there's
disagree with you. I'm just
from a
fucking with you.
financial standpoint, there's
agree.
no reason to do that. But there is a financial reason to at least get the marketing rights, or at least temporarily, if anything, like the first 6 months of it, so they can
Yeah.
put boxes out with that artwork on it, and they can advertise everything that comes up. Will be like available on Xbox, and then
Sure.
that'll help because that's if you want to become number one, you have to work and earn number one.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the loss leader, in my opinion. Like a lot of people, I think a lot of people get too torn up on the how much money is it? Is it worth it? There's also the side of business where a loss leader, where you're not going to make anything. You're just hoping to get that marketing out there, and you're just hoping to fool people. Like I know a lot of people thought Hogwarts was exclusive to PlayStation, including my
They
wife.
did.
She's like, "Isn't that a PlayStation exclusive?" I was like, "Nope. See, worked again, just like Destiny back in the day." That
Same
shit
with Call
works,
of
dude.
Duty. That's all that
Call of
marketing
Duty.
year after year with that marketing on that box. That's what helped them get to, to number one was, people that they're the casual gamers or the people that just play those 1 or 2 games. And this is the system I need because that's where all my friends are playing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Even whenever
absolutely.
you saw the Metaphor game by Atlas, it just showed Xbox and Windows. But if you go to their site, it's on multiple
mhm.
platforms. You know what I mean? But people just now viewing that would just see that as, oh, that's an Xbox game.
Right.
And the last
on
thing I'll
that,
say-
yeah.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say-
Dave. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. The
you're
you
good.
can be talking, man. You watch out. The like the Blade game, for example.
I was-
People are like,
Go ahead, I was
is it
just
gonna
gonna
be?
say
Is it
that.
gonna? Is it gonna be on this? It's gonna be on that. It's gonna
That's
be
what
on-
I was going to
But
ask.
they didn't
Dave.
say. Why didn't they
Okay.
say? Because it's brilliant. But then when you look at the official Sony released, there was 2 games that they did not release on their YouTube page, and that was Blade and OD Overdose. So those 2
Sure.
were not released on their
Well, and
on
Hellblade.
their and Hellblade, yes.
Or
But
any
I
game
mean,
not
like,
coming to
yeah.
PlayStation, essentially.
but people like going, like, ooh, is that coming? Is Kojima game going to be? No, So what are your thoughts, Rand? Do you think that's you know,
I know Brand's got a bet going on with somebody,
He-
right? Italian
he
Clowns
does,
was
yeah.
like calling you
Yeah,
out,
I won.
saying, "Hey,
I
he
won
wants
the
to
bet
lose
with
more money."
Starfield, and I said, "I'll take your money again. I'll take your money again."
I saw that.
So are we talking specifically about Blade exclusivity or whatever?
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
The logo is that
Mhm.
what we're talking about?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it's exclusive. I know everyone has a lot of theories about like, well, why didn't the logo was there or what have you, and all this sort of stuff. But I mean, you could make the argument that the FTC case might have a factor. You know, their whole Bethesda acquisition was under a microscope, and the FTC is even using some of that like information now against them and trying to get like that you know, whatever's going on now with them. So maybe they're just trying to be extra careful, right? But in reality, I really just think this is just Bethesda doing what Bethesda does. They are a limited integration company within Xbox, and they do their own stuff. They run themselves. They have their own PR company. They have their own, you know, they're not really. I know they're under Matt Booty and they're under Phil,
Mhm.
but they
Right.
essentially run themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was just like, yeah, we're doing this with Marvel. Marvel wants us to announce it. 50 years of Blade, and it's a Bethesda game, so the Bethesda logo's on there.
Mhm.
Indiana Jones was very similar to that. Even Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 didn't have any platforms or logos or whatever. I think it's just, I think it's really just that, because I know Jez asked Xbox PR if the game was exclusive, and Xbox PR told them to go ask Bethesda PR. Bethesda
Yep.
PR
Really?
said
Go
no
on.
comment. So I think it's just that, really. It's a Bethesda game, and it's a Bethesda announcement, and it's not at an Xbox show. I think maybe this would be different if it was like at an Xbox showcase, but this is at the Game Awards, and I feel like this is more of a Marvel announcement than anything.
Yeah,
And it
good
was
call.
just, this is just a Bethesda game, and it is what it is. I do believe it's exclusive. I don't think it's coming out for a while.
No,
I guess you could make the argument like, well, why aren't you tying the Xbox brand to it at this point? Are you know, like, oh, it's the biggest announcement at the Game Awards. Why isn't there an Xbox logo? I mean, I understand that.
Because what we're doing right now, that's what I think.
Well, I don't even. I don't think
but-
that really enters. I don't
He
really
doesn't
think that
subscribe
really
to that.
enters. I think it's simply just Bethesda. This is how they operate, and
Right.
I think I kind of lost my train of thought there.
It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I get why people like want to see the Xbox logo and they want to see the exclusive stuff and they want that basically out there. But when the game does come out, when you see the game again, because we ain't going to see it again for a long time.
Right.
Probably won't even see it again for 2-3 years at this point.
Mhm.
And then when you do see it again in an Xbox show, I'm sure they'll be like, it's an exclusive, because it is a first party studio. They went back and they redid Indiana Jones from multi-platform to exclusive. I don't see why this wouldn't be in a similar situation.
Mhm.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's like, why not get everybody being like, oh, I can play this on my PlayStation, and then pull the rug out from underneath them, I guess towards the end. But I don't think there's really just like a long drawn out conspiracy about it all. I think it's just simply Bethesda, and this is what happens when you acquire two publishers, that you are essentially letting them run themselves, and you let them retain their PR departments and all that sort of stuff, and you want them to retain their cultural significance and their cultural identity within Xbox. Like, you're going to have stuff like this where it's like, this is our game, this is a Bethesda game, and that's what it is. I think you'll see the same with Activision Blizzard when they announce the first non-Call of Duty game. You know, you might see a similar thing if it's not announced at like an Xbox show, right? So I don't think this is going to be the last time something like this happens, and I don't really think it's anything like, you know, oh, we're not going to put the Xbox logo on there because we want to make sure that everybody is watching it so we can get all the views and stuff. I don't think that really enters in discussion. I think it's really just as simple as Bethesda. That's it. I could be
Fair
wrong,
enough. All right.
and maybe it's multi-platform. Because who knows what the future holds? I mean,
Correct.
Xbox may not even be in the industry in a couple years, right? I mean,
And what they-
All right.
I don't know.
27, I think.
I feel sorry for anybody that started an
That's the
Xbox
end
show.
days.
Like, I feel bad for Paris and Mike and Gary on the Xcast. You guys won't have a show because Xbox
sorry,
won't be
guys.
around anymore. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
I have to go to Team Blue.
Yeah, Xbox 2 will.
Looking
I
rough.
guess I'll have to rename it to something else, the PlayStation 2 or the Nintendo 2 or something. I don't know. Xbox won't be around, I guess. So
Xbox 2027. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
RIP.
Yep. R.I.P. Black Viking. What are your 2 cents about the whole Blade exclusivity? Do you think it's going everywhere? Or what do you think?
I'm almost 100% certain it's about the ongoing FTC stuff. They just want to lay low. And I think I mentioned that on a Jez's post about it being weird, and I think Destin Legary too. And I think it could be weird, but I think it's the FTC case. I think looking bigger picture, if they announce that it's Xbox exclusive right now with one of the publishers that was used against the ABK case, which was Bethesda, I think that they would try to use it again. Like, look, they're making they're foreclosing on games that should come out for everybody. But that's, I'm not going to look too deep into it, but Aaron Greenberg did post a nice little PFP of
He
Blade,
did, and
wearing
then
the
he didn't.
sunglasses.
Then
Yeah. I
saw
think
that.
because his PR
Aaron
department
sent
said,
out the
"Take
smoke
that down."
signals. And then,
He did,
Right.
yeah.
took it away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm confident that it'll be Xbox exclusive. Keep pork begging, ponies.
Keep.
Oh, goodness. RHETRI, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's exclusive. And I was wrong about Indiana Jones. I was like, man, is like Disney gonna let that baby go to, and it feels like that's, we saw in the FTC documents and whatnot. So why not? Why not Blade 2? So if Indiana Jones can, why can't Blade? So I think it's probably exclusive. But I don't know if I care too much because it's gonna be on Game Pass. So that's all to me. That's all that really matters, and it saves me money.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy it anyways. Let's be honest. But I'm super excited. Dave, what do you think, Brian?
Well, my answer is I'll go to Phil.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
And it's first party.
But Phil did say in that same thing that there might be contract stuff that they can't,
You're
blah,
true.
blah,
Very
blah,
true.
blah.
Very true. But
just trying to cover all the bases.
But we do know that they did go back in and they renegotiated with and got Indiana Jones as now an exclusive. And
But then they came out and were like, Call of Duty signing 10-year deals with everybody and your mama.
You're right.
And your mama,
You're
right? That's
That's
true.
right.
Everybody gets Call of Duty for 10 years.
Everybody.
And when let's be honest, when when they bought Activision Blizzard, everybody in the community was like, Call of Duty is going to be exclusive, and the only one who said it wasn't was Jez. Jez was like, it's absolutely not going to be, and people wrote him hard until like 2 days later when Phil was like, I'd had a great conversation with Jim Ryan on the phone and congratulate him on his retirement and his cookies, and and then even still, if you remember, people were like, "Oh, they're just using it as a smoke screen." As soon as like the deals, as soon as it gets approved,
they're gonna pull the rug,
gotcha, and all that sort of stuff. And then it went through the regulatory stuff, and it was a lot longer and a lot harder than anybody had thought. A lot more investigation into it, and I think people have gone off the train of like Call of Duty ever really being exclusive. Because it really doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any
financial sense.
No.
And we have seen multi-platform games released from Bethesda, like the Quake games, for example. They, I would imagine, I really think ZeniMax Online's next new game that they've been working on for a while, since that's probably going to be an MMO of some kind.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be multi-platform. So it's like I think where games make sense to be on other platforms, like multiplayer. I think you do that. Blade is a single player only sort of thing.
Yep.
I think it's going to bring so many eyes to the platform in the sense that like maybe you don't want that game multi-platform, because I think you want the attention strictly focused on like your platform, Game Pass, where if it's like also out on Switch and PS5, it gets spread about where it's like, okay, if it's really about, maximizing, because I think Blade is going to be a big moment for the platform because
Sure.
Xbox doesn't really get exclusive huge IPs like this. And I know Sony, they've benefited from Spider-Man being exclusive. They're going to benefit from Wolverine being exclusive. They were going to benefit from having an exclusive Star Wars game, a KOTOR remake. That that game, whatever happened to that game, like there is the benefit of having a well-known IP that's essentially bigger than any of your own stuff that appeals to a lot of people that then might be like, oh, wait a minute, I want to play a Blade game. Where do I play that at? Xbox and Game Pass? Okay. And then maybe you make a fan, maybe you turn them into whatever, instead of like, well, get it on PlayStation and whatever. I don't know. Kind of just rambling at this point, but yeah.
Oh goodness. RHETRI, we gonna ready to wrap this up then?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
so.
Thank you
And
guys for coming out tonight, man.
What an
The chat
amazing
was
night.
definitely on fire.
They were, and thank you so much for One Bad Mother, Paris, Mav from Fun Speculation was in here earlier. Thank you all so much for being here and hanging out with us. We appreciate your insight and all the things that you do in the community, and of course, oh my goodness, I gotta cue this up again. I gotta do it. The guy
Here comes the sexy voice.
There it comes. There it comes.
I know it. I know what he's gonna do.
I want to thank from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much,
the man with the million,
Randall Thor19, for being here.
Better than real. Like me doing
right?
it.
Yeah,
you did that.
Like,
well, actually, I went back in and I took it and I digitally enhanced it. I actually lowered it down a little bit, and I added some more reverb in it. Dude, I'm telling you,
the man with the million. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
Randall, please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out to you, and thank you again for being here, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was
Absolutely,
great.
man.
I thought we were going 3 hours because I think RHETRI said something in the DMs. I was like, 3 hours, but 2, I'll take that.
I said I know we could go.
that.
Yeah, me and Black Viking, we can talk for a long minute.
Yeah.
I didn't want to keep you guys all night.
So I mean, yeah, you can find me youtube.com/RandallThor19. Links are all there for like Twitter and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. We do Xbox 2 every Friday, which is mostly every Friday, like 90% of the time. But
yep.
Yeah, we might be having Xbox 2+1 on Tuesday with a guest. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks for having me. It was nice getting to finally talk and meet Mr. Black Viking.
Hey,
and
you too, man.
Super cool. Loved it. Great.
Well, we loved having you on, man. Thank you so much again for being here. And the Black Viking, sir, thank you so much for being here. It was your first time, and I guarantee it will not be your last. You did a great job tonight, man, and we greatly appreciate it.
This is only my fourth time being on camera, man. But no, thank you guys for having me, WebDave, RHETRI. Y'all were awesome.
You bet, brother.
Chat, thank you so much. And I know I DM'd you, Randall Thor. But when I was in Norway, man, you were like one of my #1 sources for Xbox news, man. Like
that's super cool.
Yeah, man.
How long were you in Norway for?
4 years. Well, 3.5.
4 years.
3.5 years. Yeah. But that was an awesome experience. But yeah, man, thanks for all the podcasts you put up, man. Love your work. As for me, I just started a podcast last week. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays called The Longhouse. So if you look up at The Longhouse Gaming, it'll pop up. It's probably going to be in the description below. Thank you, WebDave and RHETRI, for that. We are on that slow crawl to 500. So I'm sure everybody here knows how painful that could probably be. But within the first week, man, we got 130 subs so far, man. So shout out to the community for shouting us out, man. So
the journey begins.
The journey motherfucking begins, baby. So yeah, y'all can catch me on Twitter, man. Y'all know where to find me on these ponies' necks.
Well, Black Viking, I definitely want to, while we're even still live on air, I want to make sure that I do invite you at some point. I'll reach out to you and we can work out a time, and I'll do a one-on-one interview with you, and that'll help promote your channel as well. So,
oh, great, man, that'll be dope. Yeah.
So yeah, that would
sure,
be
man.
awesome. RHETRI, tell everybody where they can find you and what's some interesting projects you've got coming up, sir.
Sure. You guys can find me on X or Twitter at Game Pass _daily. Don't forget that underscore in between the words because it matters because someone stole my name. Or you can find me at Game Pass Daily on YouTube, where I talk about Game Pass because I think it's the best deal in gaming, bar none. And of course, you guys can find us here at community at the community game nights if you wanna play some Halo with us or COD or whatever. We play all kinds of different games. But yeah, guys, great show tonight. The chat was absolutely on fire. There was a lot of you here tonight. I super appreciate it. This show has grown tremendously, way quicker than me and Dave really imagined. So we got to thank the community for that. Xbox community, I said this a million times, is second to none. So thank you guys. And thank you, Randall, for being here again. Appreciate it, brother. We love your insights. And Black Viking, first time on the show, definitely not the last time. But thank you guys for coming out, man. We had a blast, as we always do.
Do you have another super chat before we head out?
Sure. Spartan661 with the $5 super chat says, I'm glad that things happened and Xbox showed you that is up for the future. Have at you. Absolutely, man. Things are looking real
up for the future,
good. Yeah.
and that future only goes to 2027, though.
That's
Sadly.
Rant.
Slander.
Then it's all over, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
We got a good 4 years left, and then
we had
once
it.
midnight hits on December 31st, 2026, January 1st
like
comes
2K,
on 2027.
It's like 2K ran 1999.
Your Xboxes will disappear from your entertainment centers. It'll just it'll be like they didn't exist.
Cue up REM and the end of the world as we know it.
That's
there we go.
absolutely.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining us here at the Gamers Council.